It's my Halloween
please?
avatar.
All right. Okay. Hi, everybody, and
Hi.
we're here in Cucamonga.
Hi.
Hi.
Uh, well, it's not Halloween yet. That'll be next week.
Well, we stretch it out all month. You know, they've been putting up Halloween decorations. Now they put up Halloween lights, and then I just change them out for Christmas lights later.
This
I
Christmas,
don't know
I'm
what
gonna.
I'm doing here.
What?
I don't know what I'm doing here.
Hey, yeah, we're BabbleGab. That's Steve.
Yeah, welcome
I'm
back,
Timmy,
Steve.
and that's
Yay.
Tony. And everybody else is too chicken to show up, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
Gottschalk is transitioning, so he'll be here probably next week.
I know I'm so. People are supposed to. We're supposed to say, we're so proud of you, but why? Why would you say you're? Why don't they just say we're ashamed of you?
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, I'm tearing up my body. Yay, we're proud of you. What? I don't know.
And this time around, I have my pants on.
Yay.
Well, next week, I think I'm going to paint myself gold and be a gold elf.
Ah, cool.
Right.
Well, you know what I forgot to do?
Oh, is next week Halloween?
Yeah, it's a tradition. I always dress up for the Halloween show.
What if I dress as a nun?
None.
Whatever you want to be.
I don't have.
That's the good thing about Halloween is you can be whatever you want to be, and nobody else can tell you what you're going to be.
But I'm going to dress as a nun, and on the front it'll say apology.
Ah.
Okay, Shaz.
Hey.
You know, when I was, well, she used to do, that's one of the reasons I would leave her show. I wouldn't go there. I got sick of that. You know, it's like nobody thinks of apology nun being from a nunnery. Only you keep saying that shit.
It was a joke.
I'm just kidding. That's not why I left. I was leaving because, two real reasons. One is I did a really shitty cover of an ELO song, like in the 90s. It was terrible, terrible. And I was ashamed of it. And I was.
Keep going.
So I was ashamed of the song because it sucked. Yeah. And she was a huge ELO fan. So I was just talking to her candidly about it. And she's like, oh, I would just love to hear it one day. And I let her hear it. And next thing, she's playing it on her show every week. And that's one of the reasons I stopped. I could have just told her to stop. But there, and also her audience, it's like when she would play one of my real songs, it's like everybody would ignore you. It's like, this is kind of like karaoke. You at least polite clap to them or something. You don't just.
Well, you said I played really, really, really too much.
Oh, you got me sick of that song. That and Forever for No Reason, and the one with Welshman's Hill, that Rip, Roll, and Shake. You got me sick of all three of those songs because I can't listen to a song very often without, and I hate that. I wish I could listen to stuff over and over again. That way I wouldn't always have to be searching for new tunes to hear. Yeah, I get sick of things real quick.
I don't.
That and those songs were all collabs. I hate doing collabs now. And I generally, the collab songs I did, I don't really like them as much.
Was really, really, really a collab?
I wrote most of it, but it had Putt on the bass, Darren on drums, Josh on the keyboards, Vinny Zumo on lead guitar and sitar, and Owen on keyboards. I mean, Owen was on the Mellotron, is what it was. So it was really a big kind of a group effort. But I think I pretty much, Darren came up with the really, really, really words, but I pretty much came up with the song.
Well,
it was a weird time.
There are us people who like it, so yeah.
I didn't say I hated it. I just got sick of it. That, like I said, I do. I got sick of the collaboration songs faster than the others because they're always compromising. I don't like compromising myself. And you end up in a lot of these compromising positions when you collaborate with people.
And you shouldn't collaborate with Steve Jarrett because then you'll end up with love song.
That's still the only, like, the most popular song on Spotify, but I'm trying to figure it out because at first it kind of hurt my feelings that was the one song I, didn't sing, and it was a joke song. And it's like, it sounds nothing like the other songs. So it's not going to like steer people to there, but then it's always like 30 on the dot. It's always 30 listens a month. And I think it's a guy that's got a playlist, and he just plays the same playlist every day is what it is. Didn't that sound about like it? Because why would it be 30? Because if it was a real popular playlist that everybody was listening to, you'd think it would fluctuate. It might be 60 or 90 or 20 one week, but no, it's always around 30.
And on top of that, the singer sucks.
You didn't suck. You just didn't give it your all.
You know how I did that? I sang along I had you guiding me in my ear on the recording you made, and I sang along to it, and your pitch is higher than mine.
Yeah, and I said, well, why don't you give it another go, Steve? And you were like, oh, I've got to work on Allie's trailers and all this.
Didn't say that.
Can you believe it? That was your one shot at stardom in an Apology None song, and you gave it up for Allie's trailers.
You know.
Oh boy.
Me and Allie, we had a great show with On Screen.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's what it was, On Screen.
Yeah.
Where she talks about the movie from start to finish.
Yeah.
Especially, reading from Wikipedia.
No, it's so funny. I was so funny. I was doing a Zoom call at work, and every Wednesday we do a breakfast call. It's just a call that we don't talk about work, and we just, it's just a casual thing. And somebody was talking about something, and he just put a link in our chat there, on our Teams chat, and I just clicked on the link, and it put it Wikipedia, and I'm like, ah! I'm like, what? And I said, what? I said, I clicked on a Wikipedia page, and I got to take a shower when there's meetings, and they start laughing. And I said, it was like sticking my hand in the toilet. Why did you? I really did. It felt like I was sticking my hand in the toilet when I went to that Wikipedia. I'm like, ugh. It still grosses me out to think I actually clicked in that thing.
I should get one of those recordings out of Allie and mine's On Screen. They're still on my computer.
Yeah.
Why? I'm still waiting for you to upload the rest of the wrong channel things.
Well, to what? Archive.org? That's fucking history.
Well, until they get it back up. They got hacked. It's been gone for about 2 or 3 weeks now.
Oh shit!
They said that the files are all there, but I think they're just trying to figure out how to get it back online.
Yeah,
which sucks because tomorrow I'm doing that mini fun hour on Conrad's show, and I was really going to I plugged the shit out of the fun hour, and I even put it on the front page of the Apology None website now. And now they're going to click and it's not there. So what I did is I put a link underneath it, taking people as an alternative to the Mixcloud, because I've still got 10 fun hours on Mixcloud.
I need to find a place to put those wrong channel shows where they won't get taken down ever again.
Well, did they take them down, or they should still be there, right?
Well, we lost the streaming thing, so those are gone. But I still have them on the computer.
Oh, the ones on that were on Spotify and stuff?
Yeah, whatever that one I used.
Well, as soon as you got them on Spotify, then we quit.
I know. I wanted to do wrong channel shows again.
I told you I would have done it if you'd have just uploaded those 30 lost episodes. Wasn't that big a deal?
I don't want to be bribed.
What are you yodeling? It sounds like you're yodeling.
I
think it's his connection.
Yeah, I was asking somebody.
Hell of a fucking delay. thing.
You have to repeat that, Steve. You kind of, you were just, you had a little Wi-Fi issue.
Can't
You're
hear me?
back, but I didn't hear what you said.
Camel show.
It's not really bribing. We're supposed to be a team, you know. I just wanted to hear the shows that we did that were lost. Because for a while you said you lost the hard drive that they were on, and that's when I got mad, and we didn't talk for like a week, Steve, or two. And then finally you emailed me and said, "Are we ever going to talk again?" I said, "Yeah, as soon as you upload those."
The ones I lost were the chat room suspect early days, which ain't no loss.
Well, no, you said you lost the hard drive that had all of the wrong channel ones that you had. And then you said you found the hard drive.
Oh.
Like that's what I'm like. Oh, good, you found it. So they exist. Now put them up there.
Those are on my computer, and they're also on an external hard drive.
Okay, they're in two places. Good.
Yeah.
Well, send them to me, Steve, and I'll put them up. Well, there's nowhere to put them up now, but I would like to at least have copies of them.
Is their website gone? I haven't looked in a couple of years.
It's there, but there's just a we had an attack, whatever, and hope to working on getting it back.
Oh. It will get back to normal eventually.
Yeah.
It's just been a shitty year, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
God is about due to let me be on his side again.
Yeah.
I even miss this.
Yeah.
And my morning show.
Yeah.
You missed it last week, Steve. I did a slideshow.
Did you?
Twice. It was the same slideshow. Yeah, I did a tour of my cousin's house that burned down because I made it in 3D, and I made a whole model of the house and the property.
Nice.
And it was fun. And you know what? I forgot one thing to say that was actually really important. Because you saw all the rooms, there's one thing peculiar about it, other than it being peculiar, is that there was nobody there. And that's weird because that house, there were 5 kids, and then there huh?
I think
It
Steve's
sounds like he's an ape drowning.
or gargling mouthwash.
Ape gargling mouthwash.
I actually sat down and watched that show all the way through, and I almost never do that.
The last show we did?
Yes.
And that's the opposite. I always watch them all the way through. You're back, Steve. I always watch them all the way through, and that's the first one I didn't. What I did is I went to YouTube and I just recorded the second slideshow just for posterity, but I didn't. I just remember nothing happened. So what I was going to say, Steve and Tony, is it was always a circus there. There were always a bunch of people, and it was like being in the middle of a sitcom because my cousins are all kind of funny and witty and crazy, which is just like a sitcom. It was like, and that was before reality TV. I said you could make money just putting up a camera in the living room, because there were always people popping over and just opening the door, friends. And I remember Pam, she had this black coworker, and I remember she was about to leave, and she was having an argument with Jerry on if white sugar or brown sugar was sweeter. And that's the kind of, there was always something going on. So if I was like alone in that house, it was eerie and weird because it was just like, it was so noisy, but it was fun. I loved it. So that's kind of one of the things we kind of missed in the slideshow, is it just kind of looked like a Zillow ad.
Ah. Okay, Steve's lost his mind, but a Facebook friend of mine, they're trying to sell their mother's house, and it's over in Missouri, and it's $159,000. You couldn't get a cardboard box for that here. And it's a beautiful, like 1950, you know, rural house. I wish I could. I mean, if I could get a job over there, shit. But
Yeah, I see Kansas City. I still look at the Zillow houses there,
Yeah.
even though I have no real intention of ever going back. But
Yeah.
I like to look at the Kansas City houses, and it seems like most of the ones I see are.
Hey, I've actually thought about going back to Kansas City.
Well,
Yeah,
make
most of the
sure
ones I
you.
see are between 200,000 and 300,000.
Yeah, well, this was 150, and this is a little town called West Plains.
Well, you went to back to Kansas City once, Steve, and you didn't like it.
Well,
Yep.
you moved it to a neighborhood that was like not light
It was
colored.
a trashy.
Yeah.
It was a trashy neighborhood. The place had mice. We had this furnace that cost us $3,000 to run.
And they had cats too.
Yeah.
Because you said one took a Johnny Depp on your bed.
Nice.
I don't remember that.
What was Johnny Depp's wife that took a? I don't know. What's her name? I don't know.
I forgot that whole thing.
Johnny Depp's wife took a dump on his bed.
Yeah, that's what she's known for now.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what happens when you take your husband to court. Things go.
Yep.
Dirty laundry gets aired all over the whole world.
Yeah.
Dirty laundry. Literally. What?
I never watched any of that shit. I don't like Johnny Depp to begin with.
You didn't have to watch it. It was just there all over everything. The news. It was all over the podcast. Everybody was talking about it. I don't watch Johnny Depp stuff. I don't watch any of that.
He's the one that threatened to shoot Donald Trump too.
Yeah, how can he? Why was he not put in jail for that shit? Anybody else would have. They weren't Hollywood people. I mean, Madonna was doing the same kind of,
Oh yeah, Madonna wanted to blow up the White House.
And the thing is, even if she said it in jest, she's got a lot of influence and a lot of followers. They need to shut their mouths and don't be saying stupid shit.
From what I heard, Secret Service did pay them a visit.
Oh, they probably gave them a heart-shaped box full of chocolates or something.
Yeah, that short one. That short Secret Service agent?
Yeah. that 3 foot tall woman with a ponytail. Yeah.
They couldn't get her gun back in her bolster.
God.
Oh, the funniest thing. I never go to McDonald's, but for some reason I had to because I was in a bind. And guess who was at the drive-through window? The president, man. The president. I mean, not the one in there now, but the real one. He was out there and yeah.
Was he the one you went to?
Yeah, he stuck a fry in my ear, a French fry.
There you go. No, I was looking, I get the little news blurbs on my phone, and it said that there was that the E. coli at McDonald's was contaminated with their burgers.
That was Trump's fault.
Nobody gets that joke.
Oh, it's a vegetable. No. It's a vegetable virus.
Yeah, well, This
is my favorite fry, Terry, and this is Tim, whatever your name is. And everybody knows.
He did say that before he stuck it in my ear.
There you go. No, you see, because the bacteria, which is bad for you, it's comes out of poop. It's real bad for you, but the bacteria was contaminated with McDonald's burgers.
Ew, that's disgusting. That's like when Milhouse said they were trying to figure out how to stick something onto their head, like a appliance thing. He said, "Hey, you can stick it in dog poop down there, and stick it to your head." And Bart says, "I'm not going to stick it in dog poop that's been on the dirty old ground."
Was Trump actually at the McDonald's you went to?
No, I don't know where that was. Pennsylvania,
he was at a
probably, because that's where he's trying to win Pennsylvania real
Yeah,
bad.
that's
He
right.
did that because Kamala Harris said she worked at McDonald's when she was younger.
Yeah, but she can't prove it. She won't put any receipts.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she didn't do it. Have you seen some of these Kamala Harris impersonations? They're
No.
hilarious.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
Yeah, they are.
They're mostly women that do it, that do the best.
Yeah. Yeah, well. But they're hilarious.
Let me see if I can do one. So tell me, Steve, why are you here?
I want to run for president of the United States.
That
I
sounds
don't
like
know
Carter. Well, you know what? Dinah Shore was like a female Jimmy Carter. She kind of looked like him and sounded like him. Uh, do we have any chatters on the?
No,
on the
they all hate us.
Videsca said they will join very soon.
He's not doing too well right now.
Who?
They're trying to put up page you.
Who?
Who?
You were breaking up.
Who?
What? Who's not doing well?
No, Jimmy Carter.
Oh my gosh! I saw do you see that picture of him in the bed in the yard? First, why they wheeled him out into a yard? Oh my gosh! It didn't look. He looked horrible. He looked more like Biden or something. He looked like he was. He looked older than 100.
Yeah.
I mean, like the last man. I wouldn't want to live to be 100 if I end up looking like a crypt keeper, kind of like that. But you know what? He started looking old at the end of his term.
Oh yeah, he aged like 20 years in between 76 and 80.
Yeah. They must not have had the kid blood stuff back then.
Well, no, he just
worst president of all time, but now Biden got that.
God, I wouldn't even hear the worst president of all time. Oh my God. There's a little guy named LBJ. But
I don't know about that, but I know Biden, the worst president.
Yeah, because you got to do not only about their policies, but how they represent themselves. I mean, he pooped his pants in front of the Pope, for God's sake. I mean, he's embarrassing our country. I mean, it's one thing to have horrible policies, but it's like, shoot, after Helene, they asked him what they're going to do to the victims of Helene. He's like, what are you talking about? The hurricane. Oh, that storm. Oh, I didn't know what storm you were talking about. Oh, just the one that killed 10,000 people, 2 days ago. Or it's like, gee whiz. Why did you get us talking about politics?
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's talk about something else.
Damn it.
Hey, let's talk about 80s music.
Well, I certainly hope Kamala gets into office. I was being sarcastic.
I was waiting for like a punchline for that, like you wound it up, and I was waiting for the throw.
Her presidency would be the punchline.
I would like to have like have a guy at the pitcher mound, and he's putting his arm back, and he's getting the whole thing, and his foot in the right direction and everything, and just have it a loop, and everything. He's waiting for him to throw, and he won't. Well, I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Calgon, take me away. We need more Calgon. Fuck.
Ancient Chinese secret.
Hey, you stupid twat. I told you it was like a Chinese secret. You gave it away. I was thinking about that commercial the other day. That was a good commercial.
Yeah.
I miss doing wrong channel with Dell and everything.
Yeah.
We've tried to bring him in on this show when we got nothing to do. Usually when the other guys don't show up. Like basically all the time now.
Doesn't work on this show.
It does if you put something into it.
Yeah.
Because the whole good thing about the wrong channel is nobody could see us.
Hmm.
Audio you can do a whole lot more with manipulate.
Yeah.
Am I here? You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. I just, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, like a 30-second later, like a 30-second later delay.
Well, I was trying to think of, you know, we did this show to get away from the wrong channel and get away from a certain person that was in the wrong channel. We wanted to do our own thing. I like doing this. I just wish I just wish we had a team that was dependable, is all. Me and Tony are the only people here that basically have done every show.
Yeah.
I mean, there were like once or twice where I couldn't because of commitment, but I usually gave a week's advance, you know?
Yeah.
And even then, I try to pop in if I can, like when I did that play, that had to see that stupid play. Did you know I did Cabaret, Steve, the freak show? That's hypnotizing.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear a Cabaret, Steve? Well, that was Steve.
All right.
Now what?
I don't know. Oh, there we
Thomas
go.
said he was going to show up. We got to find somebody for this show that's we can depend on. For fuck's sake.
There we go.
There's like a million people in the world. You would think we could find one dependable person.
Yeah. That's perfect, Steve.
Except his shirt looks green now.
I always look green. But the fun thing you can do is break Oreo cookies in half and make little bats out of them.
You're surfing again.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Steve, what did Dell say?
I don't know.
You just talked to him. That's where you were. What did Dell say? What's he want us to do?
I'm trying to get back online here.
You are online.
You are.
I don't know.
What did Dell tell you? You were just talking to him. What did he want us to do?
My call dropped.
What's our assignment?
Get somebody more dependable.
Well, Dell's our boss. It's up to him to get someone more dependable. It's not up to us.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, do you want me to show you the pictures from the Orlando, the Fanboy Con that I was telling you about?
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
what if anybody watching is here's the delay?
do what?
I'm gonna go back to using sign language.
You're back to doing what?
Sign language.
Oh, yeah. You're not usually this bad, your connection. I don't know why it's...
Oh. I know why I'm not here every week.
Can you see this?
Yep.
That's Joyce DeWitt, Janet from Three's Company.
Oh, I just see thumbnails.
Really?
Yep. Okay, now there's well, the image is down in the corner. I don't know if you can full screen it or not.
Oh.
Well, why wouldn't it just... Why doesn't it... You can't see that.
See it. But like I
it's
say, it's the bottom quarter.
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it full screen. Okay, let me try this.
Yeah, you got to share the full screen thing, not the other thing with the
All
other
right,
the thing.
try it again. Here we go. Do you see that?
There we go.
Okay. So that's Wilson Phillips there, not the one with the big feet, but the one in the other picture.
Ah.
And those are the Willy Wonka kids, Steve. Steve probably never saw the movie.
The who?
The kids from Willy Wonka. That's Mike TV, Charlie Bucket, and Veruca Salt.
I saw the movie. It's been years.
Okay. Vicki Lawrence is on the left, and Barbara Eden's on the right.
Nice.
And that's Joyce DeWitt. And
I would have loved to see Barbara.
yeah, Barbara's 93.
Wow, she was great.
Yeah, she still looked really good. That's another picture of Janet. And that's Wendy Renshaw. She's in our chat a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And let me see.
How long ago was this?
Oh, well, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh.
And that's Florence the maid.
Oh yeah.
And that guy with her, he played one of the sons on the Jeffersons, not Lionel, but another one.
Oh.
And
I thought there was only Lionel.
Yeah, me and Wendy said that. We didn't say it to him, but we were like, we kind of felt bad for him. Do what?
There's ice. Lots of ice.
Lots of ice, huh? Where?
On the screen.
Looks like your desktop.
Oh, I wonder why it did that. I didn't stop sharing or anything. Okay, well, I'll show you a couple from Tampa. So that's Paul Williams. Can you see it?
There we go. Yeah.
I don't see nothing. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, that's Paul Williams. And that's Bo Duke.
Is that
And
John Schneider?
Yep.
yeah, John Schneider.
God, he got old.
Well, he's my age.
Wow.
I don't think he looks old. But you're used to seeing him Dukes of Hazzard. He was 17 when he was first on that show.
I never liked Duke the Hazzard.
Do what? So that's Priscilla Presley.
I never watched Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, well, there's Priscilla Presley. You know who she is?
Yep.
And that's Gottschalk.
Ah.
We saw him on the way back. That's a Bush. Let me see. Oh, look at this guy. Look at that.
Oh, he looks just like Scotty.
Yeah, it was eerie. And he said that Scotty's actual son calls him Pop. The funniest thing in this picture is that girl accidentally photobombing us.
Yeah.
Look at that guy. He's pretty authentic looking too. And that's John Schneider again. He knew me by name after a while. It was kind of cool. But yeah, that's basically it.
I would have loved to have met Barbara Eden.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I had to do that. It's like that's probably the last opportunity to see her. It's like seeing if I hadn't have seen Spencer Milligan, I never would have had the chance since he Floofy did this year.
Yeah.
What a boy, it's meeting him and getting him in the film, that was like a once in a lifetime. That was like the laser going down the hole in the Death Star. That was just like a,
Yeah.
blink, you missed it.
Here's the instrument panel. Yeah.
Let me see if I've got anything in my notes for the show.
They get mad at me for looking at, well,
I'm actually trying to find material to say here. I do write things down all week. Okay, yeah. So Captain and Lucy ran away Saturday night.
They ever make it back?
Well, I managed to almost run Captain down with the car because I had to like cut him off almost in the ditch and he was in the middle of the road and I got out of the car and he was about to run away and then he started second guessing. He wasn't sure what he should do. And that's when I told him, I said, "Now sit." And then he sat there and I picked him up. Lucy, she ran into the briar bushes and I couldn't get her. And so the next morning, I start going a little bit around the neighborhood looking for her, and I took this road that I'd never gone down before, which led to another road I've never gone down. And I'm going through all these roads I didn't know existed and these houses I didn't know existed. And it just kept going further and further into the maze. And all of a sudden, the houses were getting pretty nice. They weren't like the houses in this neighborhood. They were like $500,000 or $1 million houses. And then all of a sudden, I'm back on Santa Juana, which is the main drag. And I'm like, what? And I was clearing a whole different part of the area. I was like going a whole different. I'm like, oh, I'm by the Circle K. Goodness, I didn't even know where I was going.
Yeah.
And then when I got home, she was in the yard and she went into the porch and she got a paddling.
Yeah.
And she ripped all of her stitches out from her operation.
Oh, boy. Did you have to go back and get those redone?
I was afraid I would because last week I had to postpone Conrad's show because of her operation. That I had to pick her up the same time the show was happening. And I'm like, because they do all their surgeries on Wednesday. And I'm like, oh no, what if they have to? So what if I have to book another surgery? Then it's going to be Wednesday again, and I can't do this again to Conrad.
Yeah.
And I told them about it, and they talked to the doctor. They just said, send us a picture of it. So I sent them a picture, and they said, okay, just clean it with some antibacterial soap and spray it, with some antibacterial spray, and then it should be all right. So I did that, and I put some Neosporin on some Band-Aids. So that's where I am now. So that's good. I was afraid. I was like, oh, is it going to be another $600, for them to, sheesh. Because they'll find like a little space between the wooden fences and all the little a space that's not big enough for a dog. It might be big enough for a hamster, and somehow they squeeze through it.
Yeah.
No wonder she's all scarred and scratched and all that other crap. She's fat. She weighs 103 pounds now. So she's on a diet. She's starting a new phase of her life.
They got Gottschalk on here so he can talk about his new phase.
Maybe his new phase is to not have anything to do with any of his friends anymore.
That might be it.
You don't suppose his wife said, you need to quit hanging around friends? Sometimes wives do that.
Steve says, damn Wi-Fi. See, because we get pretty good 5G coverage out here. That's why we're all turning into like fish or whatever the hell. But
no, you're just becoming gay.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, but it's stable at least. But Steve said he tried that. I didn't. Maybe they don't have towers close enough there.
Ask Elon for Starlink.
There you go. Well, that's the thing now. I almost hate to admit this, but I'm seeing like on the used car websites, Teslas, like 21 model, 22 models that are fairly, because I think out here, you know, everybody hates Musk now because he's gotten political, and the prices on Teslas are coming down.
I wouldn't want one. I wouldn't want any kind of car with that runs on a battery. They were showing video of some of these cars in like Hurricane Milton. Like there was a garage filling with water and it had one of those electric cars. And as soon as the water reached the battery, as soon as it reached the undercarriage of the car, it just became an inferno, burned the house down and everything. They say those fires are so hot and that those electric cars that the fire department won't even touch them. They're so dangerous. And that if one has an accident, a fender bender, basically it's total. That there's nothing you can do with it. I wouldn't want one of them things. Electric cars have about 100 more years of research before they can be roadworthy, I think. Even Musk's, I mean, I've seen like some reviews of like that truck, that thing that looks like
I've seen 2 of those in the wild now. It's like they're even dumber looking in real life.
Yeah, I've seen one, but yeah, someone had one or was test driving one, and it was like YouTube, and I don't know. For someone that's a genius like Musk, it didn't seem like all the T's were dotted on that.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, around here, Teslas are everywhere. Like almost every Uber is a Tesla now. And I haven't seen one catch fire yet, so I don't know if that's...
You don't get water there.
Well, see, then there's no problem then.
Goodness, if I had a Tesla, it would have probably burned up in my yard the way it was.
Yeah.
Oh, the car show. That's something I could say.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Saturday car show, it was the biggest car show I've ever been to. So I volunteered to set up barricades. It was right in the middle of downtown. So my duty was to get there at 5 a.m. to set up barricades. And I was just like, what am I doing 5 a.m.? What am I going to do for all that? Because it doesn't start till 10. So I did you know what? When I got there were already people lining up on the strip. So there are people like getting there at 4:30 in the morning to get a good spot. It's that big a deal. I mean, there's people probably going from different states. It's a big deal. Other than the Concours d'Elegance, I would say it's the biggest car show in this area. There were like over 200 cars just pre-registered.
Wow.
And it doesn't even count all the people that this show up. So I'm glad I got there when I did, because I got a primo spot right across the courthouse from, and right after I got there, a Ferrari 360 pulled up right next to mine, this older gentleman. And he was just the nicest guy. So nice. And yeah, he let me sit in his Ferrari, and it's like, close the door, and I thought I was going to suffocate because I didn't know how to open the door.
Oh, yeah. They get creative with those door handles.
They did get creative, and it was really easy. It's like you pull up the whole like armrest, and it does it. It's kind of one of those weird things. But I was like looking for it, and I was like, what am I doing?
You're on the tall side. Did you fit okay?
Yeah, I don't remember it being that cramped. It was nice. Now, my Darren had a Dodge Stealth, and that thing was like getting a little bitty can of sardines. That was just, that's almost claustrophobic. That thing was.
I wish I had a picture of me and my MG midget. Good Lord, I probably weighed half as much as the car, but I fit okay.
There were some unusual cars there. Did you see, there was one that 65 Riviera convertible.
Yeah, which they didn't make, I don't think.
Yeah, and it had to be a custom job, but it had the Thunderbird, the back deck that goes all the way up to the seats.
Oh yeah,
kind of a thing. So that's kind of how it was. Like a speedboat.
Now, did it have a top?
If it did, it would have been underneath the.
Yeah, because sometimes they'll do that. They'll just cut the roof off, but they'll not because actually making a convertible top work. There are companies that do it.
I didn't ask, but I'm pretty sure that it didn't have
Yeah.
a top. Hi, Laura. Hi, Fidesco. Well, here's our audience.
There we go.
So it's talking about the car show. It was at Saturday. I got there at 5 a.m. to set up barricades, and I got there at a good time because it started filling up quick, and I had a really good spot across the courthouse, and there were just thousands and thousands of people there, and the Mustang was really a kind of a hit. Everybody, it just brings smiles.
Yeah.
You know, this one, you know, the little girl wanted her picture in front of it, and you
Nice.
know, it was really neat. Everybody's kind of looking in it, and the thing is there were fancier 70 Mustangs. There's one I've seen before. It was a fastback, but the guys had a real custom. You know, they make them look. Everything glows. The eyes glow. You know,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. They got the weird dashes that are like look like something from alien spacecraft. And there was another one, and it was an authentic Boss 302. It was gold. And it
Because
was
Barbara
nice.
Eden had one. I don't know if you saw that picture. She had like a 70 Mach 1, which always kind of surprised me because the show, I Dream of Jeannie, was like a Pontiac show. It was like a GM show.
Yeah.
In
well,
fact, one of Major Nelson's Pontiac GTOs ended up being the Monkey Mobile. Not the original Monkey Mobile, but the second one they built, the backup one.
interesting.
Because I guess they
I would
already
like
owned
to.
it.
I'll have to look up her car. But yeah, if I'd have known that, I'd have maybe mentioned it to her. She might not even remember. You know, it's a long time. You know, 90s something. But
Well, when you get old, you remember shit from 100 years ago and you don't remember last week.
yeah. But I'd never seen a Boss 302 close up, the actual engine. So it was something else. But the thing is I'm thinking there's probably people that kind of ignored it and just the color of mine.
Yeah, it stands out.
It's just, yeah, it just stands out. And mine was this right in the sun. That's one of the reasons I parked where I did. I wanted the sun to be on it. And it really was and there was a big DJ booth across from the courthouse and all this stuff going on where there weren't any cars. And I was the first car after that. So it was kind of really stood out. And yeah, everybody loved it. It was really neat. I didn't get any kind of trophy, but that's not why I went. I don't even think about that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, if you want to put up some pictures, feel free. I mean, we got.
no, okay, I guess I can. They're all on my Face album books. So let me.
Yeah, open up the album and then get it full screen and then share.
Okay.
That way, we're not seeing you, fumble around with it.
Okay, so here I will share. So I took that. Can you see it?
Yep.
I took that as you can see on the clock tower at 7 a.m. And that was my parking space. And
Yeah.
it's kind of a really primo spot.
Yeah.
That's my chair with the canopy behind it,
Nice.
which is really nice. Now, see that guy? See, he's looking at my car.
Yeah.
He's not even looking at the Ferrari. He's just like, look at that. Let me see. I put all the pictures in the. See, that's after I got there, and it was already filling. Now there was somebody who had their silly Toyota parked there, and
Yeah.
they were towing away all those cars that weren't supposed to be there. That reminded me of American Graffiti. Now see that. What?
I'm 58, 59.
I'd have to look at the tail section to see if it's like a 60 or 61. Now that CUDA,
Mm-hmm.
the guy paid $200,000 for it.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's not even a Hemi.
Oh, good. No, fucking 340s that nowadays.
Yeah, and somebody was telling me the reason Dodges are so expensive is because back then they were almost all tailor-made, the options and everything. So everyone's unique. And I'm like, well, that makes them even less special then. And that's the Ferrari that was next to mine.
Yeah.
One they let me sit in, and I think I'd be able to escape out of it.
Yeah, Art's my old boss, Art's friend had a couple of those.
That's the inside.
Oh, a stick. That's unusual.
I think, what was it, Ferrari or Lamborghini or something's not even making sticks anymore.
Yeah, I think the last Ferrari with the clutch pedal was like a 2012.
Wow.
Yeah. Because the automated manuals are getting to be they get pretty well sorted out now. Oh, and there's that Nova.
Yeah, and I was looking at the rear quarter window, and I'm just tilting my head. Something's weird about this car, and he says, "Yeah, it's a '73, but the front and the back are '72s. I didn't like the '73, the big bump. That's the guy."
Yeah,
and I'm like, I didn't know they were interchangeable. But it looks good.
Yeah,
and he was a nice guy. He voted for my car.
Ah, cool.
But none of us, we didn't, when the DJ talks, all you hear is bloop, 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 bloop. So
Yeah.
I didn't know calling for the votes, so it didn't even matter.
Viper. Yeah, I sat in one of the first generation Vipers I saw it at a car show. And, well, the problem was the seat was like an overstuffed couch, and I was sitting up too high. The windshield, the top of the windshield was right in my field of vision. So if I got one... Yeah, the first one, it had the T-top, the target top.
So that's a DeSoto, 56 DeSoto.
Yeah.
Not big on the color combination, but a beautiful car nonetheless.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like the 56s. I kind of like them because it's Exner, but it's still got enough headroom. Yeah, there's there's your rib.
Yeah, custom job. They didn't make convertibles, and if you look close, you can see the back deck.
Yeah,
is like a speedboat kind of a thing. One of the neatest cars there was a bright yellow Willys. The ones that almost look like cartoon characters, like Pac-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy there's kind of a friend of mine now, and he didn't get a picture of it. And it was one of the cool. He got one of the trophies, and I didn't even. I think I've got one now. That Monte Carlo.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
Now, see, that Monte Carlo, I was going home from church and it was sitting in a parking lot for sale. But I had just bought the Mustang, and it's still for sale. And I went and took a look at it, and I said, "How much is the guy asking for it?" Because he was just driving it for me. He said, "I think it's 22, but he'll probably go down for it." I'm like, "That's less than I paid," but the body's not perfect. It's not. And it's a stick shift, but he says the motor's like a Godzilla. It's not like a one you would find in a something like that.
So more my speed than yours then. Oh, I'd love one of those.
Swinger.
Dart swinger.
That's sweet. I love the rear window of it.
Yeah, I had a 76 when I was in Hawaii, and it was a rust bucket, but it was still kind of fun to drive.
They're a neat little car, and they run forever.
Yeah.
I think both of those got trophies.
Oh yeah.
And there's two McLarens.
Oh yeah.
I talked to the owner of the black one. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
That's the $200,000 CUDA.
Oh yeah.
And I wouldn't pay it for that, but even if I was a billionaire. But this one, this Panther pink one, that's what I liked. I'm like, okay, now we're talking. And the lady was in it, and she's like, "Oh, do you want me to get out of it so you can take a picture?" I'm like, "No, I got a good one of it." I talked to her for a little while.
Yeah, because I don't really like them when they're modernized too much. I like how they look back in the day. Although there's a fad of like having dog dish hubcaps on like Hemi cars and all that stuff. And I think it was cute for a while, but it's like nobody fucking ran in with a damn dog dish hubcaps.
Yeah, and there's the Boss 302.
Nice. Okay,
I
love that color. I love that color. Oh, there's Willys.
It looks good. It's a beautiful car. I mean, that's like an $80,000 car.
Yeah.
But I still prefer mine. I like mine. Or when I bought it, and that's the Willys across the street. And, can you see it?
Yep. And the first generation Camaro.
Yeah, I said, that's a 73.
Yeah.
And he says, "I wish it was." I said, "What is this?" It's like I said, "Well, you can't even tell him from a 70.5." And he's like, "Yeah, but I wish it was." I'm like, "Why? Just put different engine in it." And he's like, "Well, this is all original, the original engine and everything." I'm like, "Oh,
wow.
Okay, yeah, that's cool."
Yeah, Yeah, that Willie's, those are fun, man. That was
I asked him, okay, so now that you've got one, tell me, is it a Willie's or a Willis? He says, I've always called it Willie's. He said it kind of
the
just
guy,
depends.
the man, I forget his first name. He pronounced it Willis, but I never heard anybody else say that.
So the guy that actually made it calls it Willis?
Yeah. That was 120. Oh, God, look at that Roadrunner. 71.
Yep, good year.
Love that body style. Like a Challenger, but it's got a real trunk and a real back seat.
Let's see another guy looking at my car.
Yeah.
How about that? No, everybody loved it. And I don't want to be all like, but yeah, it did feel good.
Yeah.
There
you go.
That's a I think a 56 I think it's it was a Bel Air wagon.
Yeah.
I know I took.
Or was it Bel Air or Nomad?
Nomad, I'm sorry. And Barb, she took a good picture of me leaving the show. Let me stop share and find let me see if I can find there it is. So let me find the share button again.
Yeah, Laura. Well, if it's got a paddle, if it's got, very cool. I do like the proportions of that. Really do, and your rim choice is right on the money.
Yeah, and you know what? It's like every 70 Mustang I see, he's got the same. Everybody thought the same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, having the hardtop version is so unusual, especially with that stripe, the Boss striping scheme and the spoiler. It just sets it off, and the color. That's why when I first saw it, you remember when I first saw it, I said, it's Terry Summer in car form.
Yeah.
I had to buy it. I might have to put that on my Facebook cover photo.
Yeah.
But yeah, after Halloween's over. But yeah, it's and I'm starting to get a little more confident with it. I'm starting to figure it out a little more, how to get it to not be temperamental. And remember that thing where it would sometimes I would start it and nothing would work, the blinkers wouldn't work, everything else. It's because I wasn't rocking the key switch back enough when I'd start it. It would like be stuck all the way over.
Oh.
So that's all that was. It fixed it. You know, it was Greg at the theater that told me that, because I was telling him the problem. I'm like, I might just take it back to those people that put it. He says, well, are you sure you want to take it back to the same people that didn't do it right the first time? And I'm like, yeah, good point. He's like, you know what? It sounds to me like the key switch. It's just in the switch there. Like maybe if you just jiggle the switch, it'll work. And he was right. I mean, that was it. He's like the guy. He's the guy that when I didn't have any shower pressure, he told me what to do with the well pump to get pressure. You know, about the two different screws, and one is the shutdown and the other is the max out, and figured it out. And all of a sudden I got good pressure. Even when Ramona's husband he's like, you got good pressure in that shower. And I never thought anybody'd say that about me. Because usually it's me. I go to a hotel or my brother's house and I'm like, wow, you got great. Because my shower was so bad, it would just be squeaking the whole time and nothing would be coming out. And that's all it was. I just had to adjust the screws. Anyway, that was my slideshow. Oh, before I'm done. So, if I go full screen, let me see if that'll work.
Yeah.
It's just you see that I did a close-up of the bar in the basement because I didn't have a close-up of the actual bar, and we played there all the time. Can you see it?
Not yet. It says Timmy Ross has started screen sharing, but it's not showing anything.
Well, let me try it again. Well, you know, if I do it full screen, then all of a sudden I don't have us.
Yeah, no, that's.
Oh, wait, let me put us on the other monitor. and
There you
try
go.
it that way.
Yeah, having two monitors for this kind of thing. Because I'd never had two monitors, and then the former roommate said they want this big TV, and I said, okay. And I don't watch TV, but it's a proper 1080p flat screen, so it makes a nice secondary computer monitor. That's why I'm always kind of looking up, because that's where I got the Zoom stuff. Bud Wiener.
Yeah, we spent so many hours playing at that bar, and I didn't have a good.
Did those beer taps actually work?
I don't think so, because cousin Jerry was like Trump. He didn't smoke, he didn't drink, he didn't do drugs, he didn't do any of that. But he loved to have the bar stuff.
Yeah,
he loved the beer signs and everything, and even maybe beer cans. He didn't drink.
Okay, we're seeing the thumbnails now.
Yeah, I know. I did that. And I raised the treehouse.
Oh, that worked. Yeah, we see the full screen.
The tree fort.
Nice.
Because it was only about half that size. And then Darren says, "Oh, I was wondering if you'd remember that." I'm like, "Yeah." And he says, "I remember how scary it was. It was so high up walking up the ladder." I'm like, "Really? I guess I got to make it higher."
Yeah.
Because they said Don fell off it once and was like unconscious. They thought he died. So I'm like, I guess it is high up there. Of course, I had to put mud in the pond. Well, there was mud in the pond, but Anyway, that's all I want. I think that's all I got. And what I was telling Tony before, Laura especially, is there's something she said pretty pony. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, they have paddle shifters if they're manual. Well, I've got a paddle shifter on the Scion, but I just never use it.
Yeah.
So the thing that I missed, Laura, last week when I did the slideshow of the Pruitt House is that it was always a circus in there. There were 5 kids, and there was this, and they were all kind of funny and witty and insane. So there was never a dull moment. And this was back in the 80s. I said, if you set up a video camera, you could make a lot of money making this a sitcom, because it was always a sitcom every day. There'd be people that would just, like friends, they would just pop in without knocking. It was just like a sitcom.
Yeah. And
the banter with everybody, and everybody was loud and crazy. And that was their reputation. People on my, like my dad's side of the family, they're, and they're like, all that craziness. And then, so seeing that, my slideshow where there's nobody in the pictures, it's like a Zillow thing. And it's like, that was what was missing. And I forgot to say is just how lively everything was.
Yeah.
And there was like an instance where I was left alone at the house momentarily, and it was weird. Can't believe I'm here. It's almost like being the only person at Disney World. It's just like, it was always something going on there. So yeah, that was a very important thing that I forgot to even say. It was a neat house. Yeah, thanks, Laura. She said it was a great house. It sounds like it was a great house all around. It was, like I said, this year probably would have been okay if it wasn't for that. That just kind of, you can't have that and a good year at the same time, really.
Yeah,
that was a gut punch. That was horrible. It was like losing a family member.
Yeah.
And of course, Big Judy, they said she hasn't been the same since.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Little Judy said she kind of like a robot. So I'm trying to make that photo album of that and print them out. Does anybody know anything about Shutterfly? I think I'm going to try that.
No,
they you send them your digital things, and they make prints and send them. I used to do it with Snapfish, but the problem I have with Snapfish is you crop the picture how you want it on their site, and then when it comes to you, it's cropped a lot more than what you cropped it.
Oh yeah.
It's like, wait a second, this isn't what I had cropped. There's like that famous picture of Captain that the Humane Society took, that one with his big smile.
Oh yeah.
I wanted one to put in a frame, and I had it just cropped just right, and they sent it to me, and it's like you couldn't see his tail, you couldn't see, it's just basically cut out. I'm like, this isn't what I wanted. So I'm hoping I don't spend like $100 or $60 to do this whole photo album for Judy and then come out and like all of them aren't even usable and stuff. Oh, that's when you complain. I did that with Cafe. What was it? Cafe Print. What was it?
Cafe Press?
Yeah, Cafe Press. I had cards made for my grandma's funeral, and they said, "Do you want glossy or matte?" And I'm like, for some reason, I was thinking glossy because I've seen bad glossy where you just see yourself in a mirror. I guess I'll do matte. But what I didn't realize with matte is just looked like they used an inkjet printer on plain paper. I mean, it was cardstock, but it was terrible, and I was embarrassed. And it was too late to do anything, and I gave these things out at the funeral, and nobody was impressed. I mean, nobody said anything bad, but nobody said, "Oh, these are cool," because they didn't look cool at all. They looked like shit. And I told them that. And they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry." They gave me $20 to use on a new order. That was nice of them. At least, some people are good about at least trying to make good.
Yeah. Now, there's one of those companies that like make mugs and stuff, but I think if you read the fine print, they say they have the rights to your picture after they do it. It's like, I don't know what the hell they're going to do with it, but...
Well, there's some companies that kind of say things like the YouTube thing. Laura remembers when I didn't want to put my stuff on YouTube, my new album, because the user agreement was vague and kind of said, it seemed like that, like we own your stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's why I wasn't doing it. And then I asked the people at my distribution company about that. They're like, "No, it's not that. You still own your copy. It just means that they can use it, this and that." So I wonder if whatever you were reading, if it was just because they can't do that. I don't think you can do that without you literally signing away your copyright with a lawyer. And you know what I mean? If you own your,
I mean, that's the thing too, because these end user agree, if you install software, it's got like 15 pages of shit and nobody reads it. They can't really, that doesn't stand up in court. You can just tell the judge, nobody reads that shit. And the judge will say, I never read it.
It's like signing a waiver. Yeah, it's like signing a waiver. You can still sue them. I mean, the waiver might help them out with a jury, but it's not an end all.
Yeah.
Well, it's like with copyrights now, because I've always registered my stuff with Library of Congress, but now they're really slacking. They don't know what they're doing anymore. And it's like as soon as you get it on YouTube, that's your Library of Congress there. It's there. It's on YouTube forever. And you can't replace a song on YouTube.
That's true.
You can't just replace the file. So it's there. That's your proof. Because people in the old days, there was a poor man's copyright, is when you put your tape or whatever in a package and send it to yourself and keep it sealed.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that would stand up in court, but people did kind of have other avenues other than the register of copyrights.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with them is I'm trying to copyright my new stuff. I probably shouldn't be saying this publicly, but they won't allow me to go in there they won't accept my password. And so I try to reset my password. And they said, "Okay, we'll email you the kit." And I've tried this twice now for the past like 3 months, and they don't email me anything how to get in. So it's like, well, what can I do? But it's on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. It's there. No one can claim it's theirs. Unless I went into someone's house, sleepwalking, and stole all their songs.
Yeah, there you go.
Then it might be theirs.
What's really funny is the 50 songs, everybody used the same tune over and over again. Nobody gave a damn.
It wasn't until Chuck Berry sued the Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
For stealing, I don't know, Little 16 or.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, Thomas, how you doing?
What on earth is that behind you?
That looks like Einstein. Fucking fraud.
Because it looked like your hair, Thomas, because the way you were sitting. Thomas has had a big belly operation. And I was so
I need one
surprised
of
to see
those.
Thomas. I was so surprised to see him at the car show and so soon. And I'm like, "How are you doing?" And I pretended like I was going to, punch him in the belly. How you doing? And he go like,
Yeah,
"Don't
you
do
don't
that."
want to do that.
I had to. No, but the reason I was surprised. This is so funny because Thomas said I just had an operation. I'm like, "Really? Or how are you? Okay?" He says, "I got 6 bullet holes." I said, "Da Vinci robot?" He's like, "Yeah."
Pretty much.
Because that's what I had. It was a Da Vinci robot.
Yeah.
But it took me so long because they ripped out 12 inches of my intestine and the surrounding muscle and the lymph nodes and everything.
Man.
So I was missing like a lot of stuff that was ripped out of me. So
Not to mention the alien that was in there, huh?
Yeah.
I am the alien.
Oh.
No, just reaching over to get a glass of water on my little shelf next was like agony. And if
Sure.
I had to go up to use the bathroom, I was literally hunched over with my hand on my belly. And it was like that for weeks. And I didn't, you know what? It's funny is we sometimes forget pain.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it until I was watching a rerun of our show that I did like a week or two after it was right after the operation because my voice was really weak. And I was saying about all this, and I said I forgot about having to hold my belly and hunch. I forgot all about all that stuff, and I wouldn't until I reminded myself.
Well, yeah, I think it's kind of a strategy, an evolutionary strategy for humans. We don't really remember pain. Otherwise, no woman would have more than one kid,
and no guy would ever go out and hunt a woolly mammoth anymore.
Yeah.
So tell us about your.
I don't know. I remember that pain pretty good on Monday or Tuesday when I woke up. Woo!
Oh, you had some pain?
Well, I was telling you they shoot you up with air.
Oh yeah, that's where you got it in your shoulder and stuff.
The air went into my shoulder, and it was just like excruciating. It was more painful than the procedure itself.
Yeah, so. My worst part was when they pulled the catheter out, and just the aftermath when all the meds wore off. Because I didn't get any fun meds. I didn't get methane or morphine or whatever the fuck you call it. I didn't get any of that fun stuff that makes you happy. Yeah. But I did. I think they injected me with like extra strength Tylenol or something. Sure. So it was like, and at least I wasn't hurting in the hospital. And it wasn't until I got home where it set in, and that's where I was just like, oh my God. That's when I even went to Walmart before the paint set in just to get, some pills and supplies and things that I might need, yogurt, things that I could eat, yogurt. That was it. So it was like I bought that and I came home and I don't know if it was that night. I don't know when it started, but when that stuff wore, and I couldn't take the oxycodone they gave me because it causes constipation. Ooh. And at that time, it felt like I had a choo-choo train in my intestines that would just, it was like a roller coaster that would just rock back and forth but not go anywhere.
Ooh. Sure.
And I eventually had to call my doctor again and say, I hadn't gone to the bathroom since the operation. She's like, she told me to go buy some Miralax and take a bunch of it. And she says, if that didn't do anything, I'll have to go back to ER. And I'm like, oh no, it worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't take the one drug they gave me because I couldn't take it.
Yeah.
But I had Eric Clapton operate on me. That was pretty cool.
Ah, there you
go. And
the derelict.
Yeah, and Thomas said he didn't know the doctor. The doctor was like,
But R2D2? R2D2 was doing it with his little the probe
No, that
thing?
was a Da Vinci robot.
Crazy.
Well, tell us what happened. I keep pulling it back to me.
Oh, no worries. It was, it's the procedure is called fundification, and it basically ties up your stomach, so it's like a new LES, lower.
Oh, you had acid reflux, right? Really bad.
Yeah, it was awful. I mean, really bad. So, I only had to take painkillers for like 2 or 3 days.
So do you feel better as a whole, like a
oh yeah, it's weird. I can lay down The only thing that's really weird, and I watched this post-op doctor on YouTube, and what happens is that it's kind of hard to get used to belching because you can't really belch like you used to, you know? So now that there's a tight seal, a Tupperware seal.
Oh, on that end.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about a sphincter, and I'm just like, and the thing is your voice was on the hot mic, at the DJ.
Yep.
And it was like broadcasting all over the car show. You were talking, and I'm like, they think you're talking about a different sphincter.
Yeah, because you got like 3 or 4 of them here and there, and
yeah.
Well, your lip can be a sphincter if you're tight enough with it.
I don't even think about that.
Well, I remember when, if you remember, Thomas, when I was green, when I was the Cycle Michael.
Yeah.
Because Thomas was my Garbage Gary. He was in the video with me, and I felt so bad because Thomas went over to record, and I was honestly, I hadn't gone to the bathroom for a week, and it just, I ended up being like toxic and sick. And for me to pass up body painting myself and stuff, I was sick.
Yeah.
I think that's when I knew something was wrong. Or maybe I knew something was wrong before then, but I kind of just chalked it up to getting older, Well, yeah, I guess you just poop blood for, for a week or two when you get older. But then I realized that, I'm just glad I didn't do that. They gave me that kit where you mail in your due.
Oh yeah, they sent me one of those too.
And I did not have the nerve to do it. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be sending my poo in the mail. I'm not going to do it. And it sat in my empty bathtub for half a year. And they kept calling me, are you going to send your shit? And I'm like, no.
That's some good shit.
I think, actually, I was at Judy's driveway and they called me again asking if I'd send my shit. And I'm like, you know what? I said, I think I'm just going to go get the colonoscopy. I think I'm going to do that. And they're like, okay. And I'm glad I did, because if I'd have sent them that, it would have just come back bad, and I would have had to have the colonoscopy too. So I would have had the embarrassment of sending poo in the mail and having to have it anyway. So I'm glad I didn't do it.
Sure.
But I felt bad as Recycle Michael because it didn't tell me if I could recycle all those plastic things that I had left in the tub, because it was a big kit. So I think I just threw it away. And Recycle Michael shouldn't do that. Garbage Gary would be okay with it.
Yeah, there you go. Whereas Recycle Michael wants you to wash everything out and then put it in the recycle. And it's like, I guess it's okay in Florida where you got plenty of water. Out here, though,
they don't. What, you're restricted by water there?
No, we're in the desert.
No, I'm seriously. What do they put? What kind of limits do you have?
Once in a while, if they have a drought, which is like, you can't water your lawn and all that shit.
Yeah, I would freak out if I put something dirty in the recycle bin. I even dry out.
You think
stuff.
they're going to judge you? They're going through.
No, but you know what? I put, if you screw up too much, you lose the privilege altogether. And when I would put stuff in these dumpsters, the recycle people put their little baby strollers and all this shit like it's a dump. I've seen people put a whole rocks of encyclopedias and shit and all this, like, this isn't a garbage dump, you people. It gets me angry because you're going to lose privilege for all of us. So yeah, because people sort that stuff by hand, and so yeah,
that is a job.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't know if they're prisoners that do it. I don't know, but I did a tour of the Gainesville dump, and they were doing that, and it's a big deal there, the recycling, the way they separate everything. And Thomas, that video you posted, those countries don't allow us to send that stuff to them anymore.
Really?
So that was an outdated video. But no, but yeah.
What was that movie?
One of the do what?
What was the movie with Liz Taylor? What a dump.
Oh, Godfather.
No, it wasn't Liz Taylor. It was Betty Davis.
No, it was Liz Taylor. It was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Yeah.
She walks into the house. What a dump.
Really? Because
Yeah,
I
I
always
think
picture
that-
Betty Davis saying that.
Oh, because Timmy must have said dump like 20 times in the last 5 minutes.
Well, yeah.
All I kept thinking of.
Well, the Gainesville Dump would be like either a good name for like a country rock group or
A dance,
or
a 60s dance.
Yeah,
that might be it.
I like that.
Or like, you know, like a bad album cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a weird time in my life being president of Rotaract, and then everything just kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
I haven't really done the volunteer stuff because Barb got engaged to a man named Renee.
Frenchman?
No, he's a real nice guy. In fact, both of them saw me at the car show. They were, and I was trying to tell Renee he would be good for our videos back when we did such. I hope we can do another one.
I say Frenchman, and he says, no, he was a real nice guy.
Yeah, he was nice. He wasn't a Frenchman. Geez, what are you doing? Oh, he's got the Da Vinci robot behind him.
Oh, that
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I wouldn't want that thing crawling up my rear end.
No,
Oh, it crawls
goes
up
through
more
your
than that.
gut.
I was on the phone with Wendy Wass, and this was a week or two after the operation. And I'm like, you know how when you're on the phone with people, you start to like poke around at your belly button and stuff. And I'm like, wait a second. And I'm like, they drilled through my belly button. And I didn't
That's
know
what
it
it's
until I was
for.
on the phone. I'm like, well, they drilled through my belly button.
At least they didn't lose it. Who the hell did that happen to? They were doing all this kind of crap, and they lost this belly.
Lost someone's belly button?
Yeah.
Well, then what do they do with that? They put in like a cork?
No, I have no idea. It's just that they would look down and it was gone. It was like shit. I mean, they must have had some like big procedure or something like that they were doing, and it just ended up.
Well, you know, if you tie a balloon off and you pop the balloon, the part that you tied off still looks like a belly button. Maybe you
Yeah.
stuff that in there, glue it.
But that's not what they call a balloon knot, though.
Oh, speaking of weird stuff, so I painted 2 of the lions so far. I painted one yellow with spray paint, and I painted one red. And I realized when I was doing this, it was a bad idea because I was at Lowe's trying to find different kinds of paints, and I told the guy, real nice guy, about what I was trying to do with the lions. So he's really trying to help me out. And he says, so you can get Valspar or Sherman-Williams on the chart. Just pick a color, and we'll go with that. You know, neither one of them has red. They've got 400 colors or more, 4,000 colors probably, and they don't have red.
Now, if you
Now
set
they've
up a
got-
chair, right in the middle of them, and have like a lamp or something like that, then you can read between the lions.
I guess. Womp womp. No, I mean, no, I'm serious. Did you ever think about that? Like at Lowe's, when you see the big color charts, they don't have red. They've got like red-ish with gray in it or purple in it or orange, but they don't have any kind of just fire engine red. So I had to buy spray paint for the lions. I painted one yellow and one red, but it wasn't until I was doing it. I'm like, man, the paint on this existing was terrible. I scraped it off and sanded and everything else, and a lot of it was just bare concrete. And I'm like, well, I'm painting spray paint on bare concrete. You know what?
People do that a lot around here.
Yeah, I was about to say the graffiti guys do it, and it seems to stay there, doesn't it? So we'll see how it goes. But I might have to go back next year or whenever it fades and just like totally take a grinder to it, or a zero degree tip on a pressure washer. You know what? That'll get rid of hemorrhoids. A 0 degree tip on a pressure washer.
Yeah, I'll get rid of a lot too.
There was a guy that before I worked with Darren doing that stuff, painting and pressure washing and house repairs. There was some druggie, and he says he hit his eye right on the job there. He hit his eye with a 0 degree tip,
Ooh.
the pressure washer stream.
Oh man!
And he says after that, what is it? Your iris? What's the black part?
Pupil.
Cornea.
The pupil.
Pupil.
He said it was square. He said it was square after that.
I'll bet.
Really?
Yeah. He said it made it square. Isn't that cool?
No.
I mean, if you could still see okay, it would be kind of, I mean, something, a conversation. And you could lie about how it happened too. I was on a secret mission and I was on a car chase and I hit the ejector seat thing and the roof, I didn't realize that there was no sunroof or it was in a convertible and I went through the thing and I got stuck on a billboard and it said Coca-Cola and then Superman flew right into me and next thing I knew my eye had a purple.
Now,
a
did
square
James
thing.
Bond, after he used the ejection seat, the DB5, did he have to like stop, go back, and get the roof?
Yeah, and he had to stuff the seat down like you would like a Jack in the Box, where it's like, and you're like stuffing it down, you know. Is anybody still here? I'm going to get a refill. Stick around, Thomas, please.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll only be a minute.
Oh, here
Yeah.
we go. Robotic surgical system.
I'll
Boy,
tell
oh
me
boy.
more about your operation because it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched the video on that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, I wouldn't want to see a video of what they did.
Oh,
to me.
there's a video
Yeah.
on YouTube with the Da Vinci robot. So I posted it on Facebook. So how you been, Tony?
All right. Tried to see how my hair looked long. I never even had it this long, even back in
Yeah.
the 70s. Timmy likes it, though.
Looks good.
I think so. Kind of look like
Yeah.
the dude from the Return of the King. You know, the King?
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say you look like Les Claypool with those glasses. The bass player for the band from Canada that does Rush music,
Rush?
Primus.
Oh,
Yeah. That dude's really weird, that Les Claypool. He's got one of those very macabre voices. Woo, woo, woo.
yeah. Oh, look at that video.
What's the Da Vinci?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Thinking if I can bring it up, but it's be too low res.
Can you share it?
No, it doesn't work when I screen share for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, it works for you. It would work for us, but it doesn't work in OBS, so that it doesn't go out on the out to YouTube. Very strange.
Well, it's kind of crazy these. So I've got like 6 bullet holes, and
Yeah,
they're starting to get really itchy, which means
yeah, I'll
they're
bet.
tightening up.
I was about to say,
Oh, there it is.
the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Now that's the kiosk thing, that like the video game part of it.
Yeah.
And you got the nurse that's there to like position the arms and stuff. I wouldn't trust that guy.
How do you? Why not?
I don't know. It just felt like
Doesn't
saying
have a mask on.
no. I just felt, is this the hair, the white hair?
Oh yeah, the hell with that.
Look at that. He does. Look at that. Look at the way he shaves his neck.
It's just insane technology. I
Well,
mean,
this
it
video
is
is from
pretty
10
crazy.
years ago.
yeah.
Huh?
This video is from 10 years ago.
Jeez.
It's painful. Stop it. It's painful.
Ow.
I think
Ow.
that's just like a pumpkin or something they got in there.
My
That could be.
goiters.
I thought it was embarrassing. It's embarrassing having surgery. They might like see my dongle
Yeah.
and stuff.
What about
Um,
your dingle?
Oh, there
yeah.
we go. Now that
Oh,
looks
look at
it's like.
those. That's a roach clip.
No, it looked like he was like giving the peace sign. Hey, man, look at that. That's
Mm.
weird.
Wow.
Look at that. It's like a bird,
It's
a
a
metal
bird.
bird. Look at that. Look at what they're doing.
Wow.
Yeah, see, they're just
That's
doing like
what
a
they're
beach
doing.
ball or some shit.
I'm glad because I don't really want to see guts and stuff. I was going to tell Thomas, I'm like, dang, you missed my slideshow of the car show. And then I got to think, wait, you were there.
I was.
What'd you think of it?
What's that? The car show?
Yeah, did you like it?
Oh, it was really good. Yeah.
What was your favorite other than my car?
I'm trying to think. I took some pictures, but I didn't post them.
There were a lot of neat cars there. A lot of people.
There was a couple of Chevelles that were really nice. There was one like a Chevy Nova. It was a Chevy too. It was pretty badass.
I told Tony they had a Boss 302 Mustang that, you know, an $80,000 Mustang. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
I think
like
we saw that.
Yeah, but I'm like, you know what? I like mine.
Yeah.
And people were just drawn to it. I think it's just the color and the striping. People were just, they love it's, you know what? It's like sunshine. It's just a happy, it brings smiles to people, you know?
Well, it's different too, you know.
It's very different. It's damn near probably one of a kind.
Yeah.
I mean, to find a hardtop with the striping scheme of a Boss 302 and that spoiler in the back, I'm like, it's Terry Summer in a car form. Well, you saw the video where I turned Terry Summer into it.
Yep. Wow, look at that. Carving up a pumpkin.
You remember them doing that to you, huh?
All I remember was waking up and saying, I'm one tough son of a bitch. The nurses were
Weird, because I remember they were wheeling me down the hall in the gurney.
Yeah.
And we almost got broadsided by another gurney by the T intersection in the hall. And the next thing, there were these elevators. Oh, we're going to go upstairs. There's the elevators. And then these guys are looking over me and said, you made it. And I was in recovery. I'm like, that was it?
Yeah, they wouldn't let me walk by myself for at least about 6 hours.
Oh, wow. Well, I couldn't because they had me wired up with all that stuff. I couldn't do anything. But yeah, that was, that's the weird part of any kind of that where they put you under is there's no dreams.
Yeah.
There's no nothing. It's just, you just wake up. It's, you know.
Well, isn't that the crap that they used to give Michael Jackson to sleep? Ooh, there's Barbara Eden.
Okay, so that's a 69.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Cobra
Nice.
Jet.
Cobra Jet. Wow. Could you imagine having Barbara Eden's Cobra Jet Mustang?
Yeah.
Yeah. Her calling you master. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh. Stop that. Oh my gosh.
Did you see that one picture where she's bending over and Hagman's right behind her and he's doing what we all would have done?
I think it was one of the things you could have had her sign, I think.
Her butt?
I
Oh,
wish
the
she had
picture.
signed
Oh.
my butt. No, well, she was 93. It's not the same anymore, even though she was still very pretty. She was probably, let me see, in 69, she'd have been, I'm not good at math. Well, when she did Harbor Valley PTA in
80s?
no, it was like 79.
Yeah.
She was like 46 or she was already pushing middle age and she was still hot.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, my gosh, in that movie she was hot.
Yeah, somebody claims to have that car.
See, mine's got the emblem in the middle.
Yeah.
And I don't have the 4 headlights.
That was weird. They went to 4 and then they went back down to 2. It's like they did the Cuda. They did the 70 had 2 headlights and the 71 had 4, and then the 72 they went back to 2.
Yeah, somebody at the car show was telling me about that. That he didn't like the quad lights. You know. Anyway, enough of that. So let me see what else do I got here. I know I've taken notes of different things. Okay, here's one I got. I wrote this down. Buttons were used for centuries, and then someone invented the snap and solved everything because, the buttons would always pop off, right?
Sure.
But now 90% of garments still use buttons that pop off.
Yeah. The snaps
That's
when you
something
were
I wrote down. It was an observationism that I made.
Well, see, you're a slim guy. I mean, when you're fat, snaps unsnap.
Oh, really? Oh,
You bend over to go.
Well, but couldn't a button pop off if you're fat too?
That's true. Because that's my mom used to, when she'd like go and re-sew the button to make it hold better.
You remember in the 70s, did your mom make you wear corduroy pants? Because they would have, it didn't have a button or a snap. They had a little like hook and slider thing.
Yeah, well, dress pants have that too. The dress.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's just a little metal thing.
Yeah, since I was a kid wearing those corduroy pants and stuff. I haven't seen corduroy pants in a long time.
I know. I used to wear them all the time.
Yeah,
me too. I had purple ones.
Oh, there you went.
Oh, sorry. Bam.
Now, can one of you not show the damn robot? I'm just kidding about the robot. You can show it if you want, as long as it's not showing like real people getting cut up. Because I'm squeamish. I can't even carve a turkey. Is anybody there? How's things going with you, Fidesco and Laura? How Lewis doing? You missed a cool slideshow last week.
Yeah.
Or did you see it on my Face album book? I made a 3D model of my cousin's homestead. Is that you in the Navy?
The Air Force, yeah.
Same difference. Which one's you?
Look at the big head in the middle on the bottom there.
That looks like you.
Yep, that is me.
You're fatter there in that picture, though.
Am I? I don't know. I was a skinny 20-year-old kid, maybe 19. Yeah.
Now, I can see that my car is 54 years old, so it might have a couple tiny dings in it. Her car was brand freak effing new back then. What the heck is she doing?
I think she ran into, in Minnesota, she ran into a snowbank.
Oh, she could have run into a snow.
Because the lower valence is all pushed in, and then you look at the chrome strip on the hood right over the Mustang emblem, and that's banged in too.
And the bumper doesn't look like a snowbank. The bumper doesn't look all the way straight.
Yeah, no, she must have run into a snowbank or some shit.
That does look like something a snowbank would do. I've done that in Colorado before.
But do you remember Starsky and Hutch? Because everybody remembers Starsky's car, but Hutch had a car too, and it was like a four-door sedan Ford or some shit. It was like a brand new car. It had dents all over it. Like they deliberately had gone around the car and like beaten it up with a bat or something.
Well, knowing them, they probably showed it in an episode. He's probably banging around, hitting things. But yeah, that was a brand new car. I like mine better than hers.
Well, she stole it from Dick Van Dyke. Well, Dick Van Dyke gave it to her, then she ran off.
She ran off. He had the FBI and everybody else trying to find her, and she just like, and that's Thomas and his little boy.
Ah.
Oh, that's me and my father. Come here, take a picture with me.
That's a good picture.
That was my childhood in a nutshell.
Where was this?
That was East Matunic Beach in Rhode Island.
Oh.
And he used to drag me by the ear all the time, me and my brothers.
Now when was this? This looks like a long time, like in the 90s or something.
70s.
Oh.
Now, why is it Rhode Island? It's not an island.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird... Actually, there's a lot of islands in Rhode Island.
But it's not called Rhode Islands.
Yeah, I know.
How can there be islands there? It's only like 5 miles, the whole state.
Oh, it's bigger than that.
Oh, come on. I bet that Rhode Island's no bigger than Duval. It's no bigger than Jacksonville, the whole state.
Yeah, I'd say Duval. It's probably like Duval, Nassau, and clay all put together.
Oh, okay. They I was watching some political podcast that was talking about, he talks a lot about the voting stats and stuff. And he said that Duval County is basically represents Georgia, that they have the exact same electoral result, you know, or whoever they're voting for or whatever, the same number.
Yeah.
So I got to thinking, so Jacksonville, at least when I moved there, my teacher had told me that, because I told him I was moving to Jacksonville. He says, you know, that's the largest city in the world. And at least, I don't know now, but at least in 1988, it was, or in
Yeah.
87. And what it is it takes up almost the entire county. I mean, you've got Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, and Orange Park. And those are the only suburbs, aren't they? That's it.
Pretty much.
And yeah, so it basically, if you're going down I-10, Tony, it'll say, welcome to Jacksonville. But it'll be another 15 miles before you get to downtown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And when you're going down I-10, you pass by the Reynolds aluminum wrap factory, and then you pass Pine Saw, and then you can smell the pine saw in the air.
Oh, it's like when you go to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and you smell the when you go down Hershey Highway, you smell all the chocolate.
Yep, and the neatest part is Hershey Highway like some slang for something gross. and then you go to downtown Jacksonville, and especially in the morning, you can smell coffee because the Maxwell House factory is downtown.
That's true, yeah.
And that's a big one. That's a big factory. And the neat thing about it is at night, they've got a neon cup that drips. It's like an animated sign. It's really neat. I didn't know if people actually worked there or not. There was just the factory was always there. Another neat thing about I-10 going into downtown, I don't know if it's there anymore, but if you might remember this, Thomas, if you lived there, back in the old days, there was it almost looked like a spaceman, but I don't think it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like a technician, but it was all neon, and he was pumping a bug sprayer, animated.
No, I don't remember that.
It was really neat. It was right off I-10, and he just always pumping the sprayer, this animated neon. It was kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, we have one of those, little town of Garberville, California. There was this beautiful, wonderful old diner, and it had a picture of a guy, neon, and it was a chef, and he was flipping pancakes. And it was just, it would just light the neon sequential. It wasn't, the sign didn't physically move, but the neon would blink.
Right. In Alabama, where I lived in Anniston, there was a place called, I'm thinking it was called the Varsity, but I think that was in Atlanta, but it was like that. And it was a burger place or whatever, but it had a football on a line, a neon football that would go all the way across the parking lot it was kind of neat too. And I was going to say something important before I thought of that. What did you just say, Tony? Tony doesn't remember any either.
I'm 63 years old. I don't remember who are you guys?
What were we just saying? What were we just saying, Thomas? Thomas isn't even paying attention. Oh my gosh, what were we just saying? We were talking about neon signs.
Yeah, it was a flipping pancakes.
Okay, that's where we were. I was talking about the guy with the pump sprayer, and then Thomas, you said something. What were you saying about?
No, I didn't. No, Tony was talking about neon light. So,
damn it. So that's where it was. And we were talking about some kind of neon. So there was something in my mind that I was thinking about crap.
Well, we were thinking about crap
shit.
before.
Crap.
Oh, I know what it was.
About crap again.
So Estefan Bravo, he likes to post things around where he lives in California. So Tony probably knows a lot of the landmarks. But he was so sad because there was this foot doctor. And evidently there was this sign out in front. I don't know if it was neon. I don't know how it was, but it was an anthro foot. Like you're looking at the sole of the foot and it's sticking up, and it was like had a look of despair and pain on its face. and then it would pop into a happy foot.
Ah, Happy Feet.
And he said that they were tearing the sign down, and he said it was a landmark in such a sad time.
Oh,
But what makes me think about it is right when that happened is right after they took down the foot sign is when COVID happened and the summer of love and all that other shit. Everything went to hell.
Yeah.
So it's all because of either them taking the foot sign down or the Cats movie. Because they both happened at that same time. And they totally put the whole world off the rails. I think it was the Cats movie, to be honest.
Probably.
I don't think a sign had that much power to change the whole world, but a bad movie, I think it does. There's like a domino effect. And Tom said he loves the movie. He's the only person I know that said he loves that damn thing. I never saw it.
What movie?
Cats.
Oh, I didn't like that. I didn't see that. I don't even think I saw the movie.
I was just seeing if you're paying attention. You weren't.
Yeah, I was. Sorry.
Sambos.
And then we had there's a.
It sounds racist, Tony.
Yeah, they had to get rid of it. I remember we had one near us in Connecticut.
I used to love it.
Sambo's.
Was that like it says pancakes, so I'm assuming it's like an IHOP.
Yeah.
It's one of those places that's way overpriced because they take advantage of drunk people at 3 a.m. when the bars close.
That's exactly what it was. Then they changed the name to No Place Like Sam's.
Boy, I went to an IHOP because my cousin Debbie, this was last summer, she met me at an IHOP and I had biscuits and gravy. I'll never eat there again. I'll never eat at an IHOP again. Those are places that charge you for a refill on your coffee or orange juice.
Ooh.
That should tell you all of it. But their biscuits and gravy, I could have bought Pillsbury biscuits and made it myself, and it would have tasted 10 times better than that slop that they had. I mean, literally, I'm not even kidding. I mean, I'm like, I can't believe I paid for this shit. I could have just made this at home, and it'd have been a lot better. But in Peculiar, there's a little place called Frankie's that little Judy loves. And she just, every time I go there, we got to go to Frankie's. And they make good biscuits and gravy. And they're reasonable. The people are nice. It's a mom and pop place. What is that? Is that you, Tony, out there? Standing outside Is that you, Thomas? Who is that?
What?
Who cares?
In the picture.
Oh. See if you can figure it out.
Oh, I was looking at Tony's because he had a picture of a guy crossing the street. I didn't know who it was.
That to you is a picture of a guy crossing the street.
Yeah.
Open your eyes bigger.
What? He's got a building behind him.
To the trees.
Yeah, there's a hill. There's hills and trees. I'm pissing Tony off.
You know those people where you point to something and they look at your finger?
I'm just giving you a hard time, Tony. Yeah, it's a cool sign. Does it? Oh, that's the pancakes that light up at night. I see what you're saying. Okay, I didn't see the light up pan. That's cool. Yeah, that's basically. Well, no, the guy with the sprayer, he didn't have a backdrop. He was just a full neon outline. Like the Porky's sign on the Porky's movie. Okay, duck again. Let me see. Is that Dave Mason?
Oh,
if it's not Dave Mason, you got me. I don't know who.
It's Peter Frampton is on the right. And then the big man's from the Blues Brothers. He's the Colonel.
Steve Cropper.
Steve, yep.
So do you know those guys? What's the deal?
Oh, I went to that concert.
Oh, you took that?
Yeah.
Did he suck?
Oh, it's a great show.
Josh once emailed Peter Frampton and told him how much he loved the Sgt. Pepper movie and loved him in it. And he never responded, that bastard. I never had anything to do with him after that.
That movie was awful.
It doesn't matter. He was 8 years old,
Yeah.
And I think he even said he was 8 years old.
I saw that damn thing in the theater back then.
I'm sorry.
Did you?
I'm sorry, Tom. No wonder you two are so screwed up. I've been trying to get a wrong channel moment here. I mean, a precious moment.
We had like 5 of them, but
we might have a few. we're a little more animated today than we were.
Right.
Oh, next week, Thomas, I'm going to. You remember how it was green, the Recycle Michael?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be a gold elf next week. He's not even paying attention.
A gold elf.
Yeah. Putt thought it would be a neat idea, and I'll look for any excuse to paint myself up. You know that.
Ah,
Uh,
I like it better when you're the mud man.
You know what? We were going to do that. We were going to do a remote from my mud pit,
Yeah.
but it's out of season now. It's too cold. I can't go in the mud pit now. It's got to be at least 83. It's got to be at least 80-degree days and like basically 70-degree nights, because there's no sun going onto the mud pit, and if it's like let's say it's a 59-degree night, it'll never warm up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So we'll do it next season. We'll do it on the spot, on location. Timmy in the mud pit. We had all these great ideas, and we just didn't get to any of it. But you know what? Part of it is because those other fucks would never show up to our show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the language.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to talk to them because I do care about them. Sorry, sons of bitches.
And shit.
And shit. Well, I was a green gator last year, and I think the year before that I was the blue elf, the gray elf, black elf, whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe I'd be the gold. Putt said it'd be neat, but Putt won't even show up. So why am I going to do anything to please him?
Yeah, he hates us now.
I know he hates us. Well, I'm going to do it anyway because when I say I'm going to do something, I'll do it. I tried to be the robot last year, one BabbleGab.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't need a Halloween to be the robot. I can do that anytime.
Yeah.
You haven't seen me as the robot yet, Thomas.
Yeah,
Have you? When?
sure. Well, I've seen videos and
Well, that doesn't count. You haven't seen me as the robot in real
not
life.
in person, no.
I'm 7 feet tall in that thing. It's pretty. I haven't seen me as the robot. Isn't that weird? It's like when I was a Draconian, everybody was like, "You're so awesome." This, and I'm like, "I wish I could see it." You see me in the mirror. Is anybody still in chat? Last time I heard from Laura, we were still talking about the Pruitt house. Thomas wasn't even here yet. So Thomas works at a permaculture farm.
Well, I don't work there. That's what we have.
Do you still work as a masseuse?
I haven't done any in a while.
If it's a dude, it's called a masseur.
Oh, hey, Wendy. Are you back home from Greece? How was the vacation? Are you suffering from jet lag and stuff?
I'll be right back. Hey.
He has to poop. It's okay. Wow, Wendy went on a super vacation. She went to Greece and Turkey.
Oh, I love greasy turkey.
It's disgusting.
Well, no, that's when you put the duck in it and then the chicken, and then because the ducks are really oily, and so that kind of infuses into the turkey, makes it less dry.
Because normally when you have turkey, they're pretty dry. But I would recommend. Well, I don't recommend it, but almost the best food in the world is a one of those deep fried turkeys, like
yeah, especially if you get somebody else to do it, so you don't burn your house down.
Well, that you got to get someone that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
But my bad memory of it wasn't anything as catastrophic as that. But I was at my grandma's house in Colorado, and Darren and I tried to deep fry a turkey, and to get the thing to warm up, we had to sit there and watch the thing, freezing our asses off on the sitting on the driveway. That was a bad memory. That's one of those bad memories. It was just like we were miserable waiting for that thing to even warm up.
Was it a significant emotional event?
You know, when I'm talking about it now, it kind of does seem like it. It seems like that's just a bad memory when we were sitting on that driveway, freezing, waiting for that thing to warm up. And my friend Jack Porter, we called him the Turkey Claus because this out of the blue one Christmas, he decided to deep fry a bunch of turkeys, and he did it without any fires and stuff. And he just went and delivered a turkey to each one of his friends, and he gave me and my mom a turkey, and it was so nice of him to do that. It was the first time I ever had one, and boy, it was good.
Yeah.
Problem was is he was an alcoholic and a bad driver when he was drunk, which was all the time.
They are awful the next day, though.
Yeah, well, I don't think he ever had a hangover because he would just keep drinking. I remember he had you remember those very pretty Chrysler Sebrings in the 90s, the convertibles?
Oh, yeah.
He had a maroon one with the tan interior. It was beautiful. I mean, back then I think they're pretty cars now. I think they'd still hold up.
Yeah, I rented one once.
I drove one all the way I drove his from Savannah, and somehow he ended up in the back seat of my mom and grandma's car. And he said he was worried sick, that I drove his car. It's not that I was a bad driver, but when someone else drives your car, you think of the worst all the time, So, and one time we sat in his car in the front yard under the moonlight and stars, and we just all sat in the car, it was just like really neat. And then one time he shows up and the damn fenders bashed in and the door and everything else. And I'm like, what did you do? And he says he sideswiped the telephone pole by his house. I didn't ask him drunk because of course he was.
Yeah.
And then he moved to Colorado and totaled my brother's van, borrowed it and totaled it. And my brother's wife never talked to him again. She held a grudge. And Darren was like, oh, who cares? It was just a car. And I think he was in hiding after that. We just never heard from him again.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him. Wendy says, I had a great time. Didn't start out great. That my small suitcase didn't make it, and it turned out the airline mislabeled it.
Well, did you get it back?
Yeah, she says, it only made it to Newark. I finally received it the day before we flew home.
Oh, I hate Newark.
Newark.
I remember when I first went to Newark for a connection, because I'd never been to New York or anything, and it was really neat seeing the trade towers for the first time out, because you can see it right out the airport. It has a good view of Manhattan. But I decided, well, I'd never been in this part of the country before. I think I'm going to step outside, because that's when you could do that in a airport connection. 9/11 hadn't happened yet, so there was more.
Well, obviously, the terrorism.
You didn't have the TSA weren't like Satan. So
that's the thing. I have not been up in a plane since 2001.
Oh, you're lucky. Really? You're lucky. That's why I don't want to travel anymore.
The last type of airliner that I was in is not in use anymore. There's one flyable in the whole world.
Oh, like a DC-3?
What was it, L-1011?
No, L-1011. There's one, and it's used for some kind of atmospheric research. Wow. They are all gone.
They're planting those seeds to tailor-make hurricanes.
God.
So anyway, when I was in Newark,
Timmy's just back from setting fire to 5G towers.
You weren't supposed to tell. So I walked out, back to my story, which I've been trying to finish for the last 5 minutes. I walked outside to experience New Jersey, Newark, in this part of the country, and it just smelled like a dumpster. It smelled like a dumpster. I went right back in. I'm like,
you're all making me, come back east. It's great. It's wonderful. But I can spell a dumpster here.
You're comparing Florida to New Jersey? We're as far away from New Jersey
I'm a Californian. It's
Tony.
all back east to me. It's back east somewhere. Cleveland, New York,
Jersey,
Boise, whatever the fuck.
Anyway, Wendy's gonna be tired for a while. When I got back from Athens, so one of the things that was fun, I don't know if you did this, Wendy, but one of the neatest things about Athens was at night we wouldn't have any dinner plans, and we would just walk to the different bistros that were all around everywhere. We just pick one, and I took a picture of it. We were walking down this deserted alley And it looked so neat. It was just so dark, but it wasn't scary. It wasn't a scary place. And well, after Athens, after I got home, I was jet lagged, and I woke up in the wee hours or in the middle of the night, standing up, thinking, where am I? Because I was thinking I was in one of those alleyways. And I was like trying to come to, and I'm like, wait, oh, okay, I'm in my room. But where's my room? I didn't know where my room was. I was totally disoriented. And when I got back from Australia years before, I dreamt that there was a kangaroo in my bed. And I jumped out of bed, and I didn't know what room I was in or where I was. So that's kind of what happens to me when I'm jet lagged. I get these weird, almost sleepwalking kind of things.
Hey, when I woke up in the recovery, I had this vision that I was in like this mud room, and people.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's like all these people are wallowing in mud like pigs.
Was I there?
No.
Shit.
Sorry,
No,
dude.
it was just chicks in bikinis.
And then
Hey, was I there?
Then that's when I said something about I'm a tough son of a bitch.
You said what?
I told the nurse I'm a tough son of a bitch.
Because of the mud?
No, they asked me if I was okay.
Ah.
So
Yeah, Wendy
So
says
they
she
asked me
couldn't
when I
sleep
was
on the plane
and I
either.
started crying and asking for my mommy. I guess we're different.
Yeah.
mommy.
Yeah, she said that she couldn't sleep on the plane either. Neither could I've never slept on a plane successfully.
I think if I ever did. I did fly a couple of red eyes from Hawaii to Los Angeles when going to college.
Yeah, I've flew some red eyes before. One of the coolest red eyes ever flown was from Alaska to Chicago.
Ah.
And you could see, so it never got dark. You could see in the northern hemisphere over
Right.
Canada, and you could see the light all night long. It's pretty wild.
That's cool. And Wendy said that we did walk around a little, but I was with a tour group, so a lot of things were scheduled. I guess that's a double-edged thing there. I mean, it's kind of neat with a tour group because you know that you're not going to be just on your own asking foreign people for directions and stuff. But at the other time, you can't really do what you want to do.
Because you can't trust those foreign people.
You can't trust foreigners. And when I was in Grand Cayman, I've said this story before, but oh well. There's a town called Hell, and it's got these natural iron formations that are like spires that stick out of the ground, a whole field of them. And it's really weird, nothing like it on Earth. And they call the place Hell. And there's like a little observation deck where you can be there with this, and they got a little devil. And the guy in the shop is this big black guy that's got devil horns on, is dressed like the devil. And you go in there, and he's like, "How the hell are you?" And really funny. And I was like, there was a sweatshirt that said Hell University. I said, I think I might buy this. And the tour group's like, we're going now. And I'm like, well, they sure don't give you much time here. He goes, they sure the hell don't. Well, I thought it was funny.
Boom.
He reminded me of the main bad guy on Live and Let Die.
Ah.
Live and let die.
What was his name?
Stromberg, right? Or no?
It was a foreign name.
Oh, Kananga.
Could be. He was a
Mr.
Facebook
Big.
friend of mine. Yeah, he was a Facebook friend of mine, and it wasn't until he floofied that I looked and he had private messaged me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the main James Bond villain private messaged me, and I didn't see the message, and now he's floofied.
Oh, was him or was it Jeffrey Holder?
Photo, right?
No, it wasn't Jeffrey. It wasn't the 7-Up guy. It was the main kingpin.
Yeah,
Jeffrey Holder was like a weird voodoo guy in that.
Yeah, he would just kind of drifted in and out and just.
Yeah. What is that? Submarine groceries?
Submerged groin.
Oh, submerged. Yeah. What?
No,
I submerged my groin.
Yeah, no, a groin is like on a beach. They will put perpendicular to the beach like a rock or something like that. It's supposed to keep the sand from washing away. It doesn't really work. And
No, it doesn't.
no idea why they call it a groin. What a stupid thing. They should have called it a Herbie or something, or a Murphy.
That's
Yeah,
like the
but they-
time I went to Seal Beach out California, and there's a
Yeah, I've
big
been there. I
sign,
swam there.
don't molest the seals.
Ah, there you go.
Well, it is California, right, Tony?
Yeah. Well, it's like in Hawaii. You don't want to fool around with the big turtles, the sea turtles. They don't like it because they're like 100 years old. They don't have time for your shit.
No, it's the dolphins that are horny.
But no, the turtles just don't like it. They just leave me alone.
They don't like it, but don't dolphins? Won't they?
Yeah, they'll yeah.
Horny bastards.
Yeah, there's a sign in Dolphinese, don't molest the humans, but they don't read it.
She said it was tiring because we were getting up every morning around 6. Oh my gosh, you could have that to have breakfast, and then we'd be on the bus, and we saw a lot of amazing sights. Oh, that'd be cool seeing stuff. We did have a few free days to do what we wanted. Well, that's good.
I wonder about
It was
that.
really do what?
I wonder about that because my pain in the butt is better, and I've walked like a mile and 2 miles and all that. But if I ever do the tourist thing, I don't know. I still kind of do a little like like at the penguin when I walk. So I don't know if I could handle that much walking. I used to
I
love
think you
walking
can.
around.
I think you can. I was thinking about Athens the first day we got there. They were having some celebration, and the alley by our flat, thousands of people. It was like a stampede. It was unbelievable. It was scary. I don't know how we found our way into the place. It was just crazy. And you could just open the window, and there were just thousands of people below, just all moving. It was the weirdest thing. And we lost Deb. She got lost. And the lady that owned the flat that Deb was renting it from, she comes there to show us everything. And we said, we lost Deb. She's like, she what? She looked like Irda Gagu. She's a real pretty lady, but she looked like Irda. And she was scared when we said that we lost it because it was crazy down below. But she found her way in. But the flat was just walking distance from the market square, which is right at the foot of the Acropolis, the crap.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was really neat. Like it was mostly me and Keith Fellows. We could just walk to the Acropolis anytime we wanted. It was just so neat. One of the neatest times of my life. And I didn't even want to go there. Because one of the guys was keeping track of our steps and said we walked the equivalent of 43 miles and 76 flights of stairs. Wow, in one day? That's insane.
Over the whole trip, I hope.
Oh,
Yeah, no, you get that on your phone. I got my phone. It tells me how much I walk and ride bike and all that stuff. So
you'd be surprised if people that actually walk. Now, people that play video games and watch TV, they don't do anything.
yeah. Well, when I lived in Glendale, California, there was enough, old architecture and fun stuff. I'd walk like 6-7 miles just taking in the sights.
Hmm.
Yeah, she says in 2
It was
weeks.
2 weeks.
But
That's
yeah,
great. I only
that's-
spent like a week on my vacation. And I could have stayed a little longer because Deb thought it would be neat if I and her took the tunnel from England to France and said we could go see Paris. And I wanted to, but I already had a plane ticket back. I don't think you can just say, I guess I probably could have called him and asked, can I postpone the
Well, I don't know how it is nowadays. In the olden days, yeah. I mean, hell, in the movie Bullet, the bad guy gets on a plane to Paris, and he's got a ticket to Rome, and they said, we'll just switch it for you.
Yeah,
And you can bring your
sometimes
gun. It's no problem.
As my mom would say, if they tell you if they're a butthole when you call them, you hang up and you call again. You'll get someone else and you'll get a different answer. And it's true. It's worked for me. The thing is, so the trip to Australia gave me like 20,000 something airline miles with American, and I had enough for a continental United States round trip, just from the sky miles from that one trip. So I wanted to see Jeff Lynne and ELO in California, but I also wanted to stop in Colorado and see my stupid family.
Oh, there you
And
go.
so I asked the lady, and she's like, generally a 3-legged trip, it's kind of expensive, but she's like, yeah, it would just be an extra $50. So the whole trip, the California and then to Denver was $50.
Not bad. And Wendy,
Wasn't that nice?
Wendy, don't tell Timmy that.
One of the places we stayed in a ski village, of course, there was no snow, but beautiful views of the mountains. Why?
Because you hate mountains and you hate everything that's pretty.
I was surprised by how narrow some of the streets are. Well, I like the Swiss Alps and stuff. Like the girl that on the bicycle, those mountains behind her were beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
But they were also very green and lush. I just don't like the mountains that Microsoft always puts on their the screensaver or whatever you log on.
Well, the streets, back then, those places are older than cars. So that's why. It's like it's like the smart car. The smart car. I don't know why people have them in this country because there's no point to them. You have them
premium gas.
Yeah, well, and I mean in Europe, well, most of them in Europe are diesel, but the roads are so small. You need a little bitty weird car like that just to get around.
Yeah, you wouldn't need one of these on an interstate. Plus, a lot of people here have big cars, SUVs, and things that weigh 5,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody hit one of those smart cars once. I mean,
I bet that was funny.
wow. It was, the bumper ripped right off. It was like,
was that all?
it was amazing.
Got off easy.
Oh, that just sounds like a fender bender with any car.
Yeah.
The Top Gear, they did quit mocking me. The Top Gear did they did a test between like some 70s subcompact tiny European thing, a barrier test where it hit a guardrail, and they did a smart car because smart cars things is, oh, these cars are safe and indestructible. So they did the barrier test, and they're like, yeah, this little 70s car, they would have died in this accident. And they did the smart car one, and they're like, they're right. The car held together pretty good, but they still would have died.
Yeah.
Because of the G's, hitting something in that tiny of a car.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how the car holds together.
Because I've seen footage of crash tests, and there was one, it was like a 73 Fury or 72, 73 Fury and a Colt back when they had the Dodge Colt.
Oh, yeah.
It was a head on, and it looked like the Fury just ate the Colt.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Yeah, it's like by the time the hood buckles on the Fury, you're already to the back seat of another. Well, and those Chinese cars, they'd hit the wall and disintegrate.
Yeah.
So they just keep going and going until there's nothing left. It's a couple instances where there was another bus in the road, and they would have to take turns because there wasn't enough room for both.
Oh, yeah. The little town where we spent our summer vacations back in the 60s, there was a bridge over the river, and it was a single-lane bridge. Like, if you remember Vanishing Point, with what he's racing the Jag, there's and if you're coming from both directions, one would just wait and let the other go.
Oh, gosh, Tony, there's this guy, an older guy that came up, handsome older guy, and he was really curious about my car and very confident. Really nice guy. And somehow we ended up talking about the Challengers and things. And he said, oh, he has one. He has an orange 70 Challenger. And I said, oh, like Vanishing Point. He says, that's my favorite movie of all time. And he was trying to thumb through his phone to try to find, and he couldn't find pictures of it. So I taught him kind of how to make albums and to use favorites so he can have, and he's like, really? So I was teaching him this stuff. And, I didn't have the heart to tell him that the crash at the end with the bulldozer, that they changed it to a 69 Camaro at the last second. Actually, I didn't think of it at the time. I probably would have told him.
I love that movie, Death Proof.
Oh, you guys have no taste. I'll be right back. I'm
I've
kidding
never
you.
seen
It's a fine
Proof.
movie, but okay. My problem, and I told him this.
Yeah.
My problem is the color of the car. It's like it's in the desert. They should have had an orange one or a red one. It would have looked really nice. that white. He says it actually wasn't white. He said it was some kind of off. It was a weird color that was like off white, but because I guess he was an
Because
expert
mine was
on.
white.
He called it something else. He says it's basically almost white, but you know what they do? They put like they get a whole gallon of white paint and they put 1 drop of black and then they call it mimosa or you know what I'm
Or
saying?
taupe.
Do what?
Taupe.
Taupe.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
All right,
Stick
be
in
right-
here.
Go.
Stick it in your
Oh,
ear. I'll be right back.
Oh, we'll ask Timmy
That's
that
what I'll
question. when he
be.
gets
That's what
back.
I'll be next week. Only gold, and I won't have the wig because evidently they don't make gold wigs.
Oh, I've seen it.
no, huh?
It just look like
When
shit.
I have not. Well, then tell me where it is, Tony, and I'll maybe buy one
You
because.
got to go to like a black neighborhood. They got all kinds of.
Well, yeah, but they're all that metal shag, like the little like they use in the porn movies. They're not like my hair there, but gold. They're
But
they're
you
like
know
the
what they
little
use in
tinsel.
porn
They're
movies.
tinsel. They're like tiny tinsel wigs.
Well, yeah.
That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a long wig that's. Why can't they make a long wig that's gold? And I'm not going to have my tunic because I don't want to ruin it. I don't have it want to ruin it. My tunic ruin it. Never mind.
You're gonna need to see a wig master.
Wig
The
Master,
Wig
Steven
Isn't that
Benedict,
the, isn't that the new Amazon series?
yeah.
There's an episode of Seinfeld about the wig master. Oh, how about a coolie?
Oh, but Timmy, was there a lot of graffiti when you visited Greece? Yes, but it was all 2,000 years old. Yeah, we don't have to sit quietly while we wait for Timmy.
No, we don't. Mr. Chatterbox himself.
And that's Glendale, California. That's Brand.
Yeah.
That's Brand Boulevard. I misidentified it last time I showed this picture. Those
Yeah.
are PCC type streetcars, and they used to go through a tunnel under Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah, like they actually had it says subway terminal. You don't think of Los Angeles as having a subway. Well, they got rid of that in '55, but they brought the subway back. If you've ever seen the first Speed movie,
Yeah,
it was,
I remember that. Well, you know, I saw, and I'd really like to see that. There was a documentary on California specifically about the freeway system because they wanted to build trains everywhere. And Detroit said, no effing way. You're going to put us out of business. And it was I think it was the History Channel. I wish
yeah, no, it was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's the streetcar system in Los Angeles started losing ridership in the 1920s.
Yeah.
So as soon as cars became affordable, people stopped riding the streetcars.
Yeah.
Wasn't nothing to do with Dr. Doom or whatever.
In the 50s, Detroit was just freaking out. So
yeah, there's the freeway through the Cahuenga Pass, the first really major freeway, the 110's the oldest freeway, but the 101 going through the mountains originally had the train tracks going through down the median.
yeah.
Which is really funny because they had a bridge over the freeway, and then there were stairs in the middle of the bridge, stairs going down to where you could get on and off the trolley.
Okay.
And that would scare them. It's like, yeah, we're going to walk down these stairs and then there's a freeway.
Well, they built all aboard Florida out of Miami to West Palm. And I think now it goes to Orlando. I don't know if they're going to end up connecting Tampa eventually, but that was a huge undertaking, just putting that. It was a Canadian company that did it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we have a passenger train that goes right by my house like 500 times a day, but that's diesel. They haven't electrified it.
That one's all aboard Florida is kind of high speed. It goes up to 60. So hear a lot about people getting whacked. You know, they're drunk down by Jupiter or whatnot, and they just go
Ah. So it goes to different planets.
What's that?
So it goes to different planets?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we got Neptune Beach close by.
Ah.
So a Facebook memory came up, and it was the best costume I ever had. I wish I still had it.
Ah.
Let's see it.
Best.
Huh? All right, here we go. You see it?
There you go. Put a tiger in your tank.
Yeah.
And I guess your brother is like my old sales manager at Tuttle Click Motors in Irvine, California.
It's funny. I asked Darren what he was there, and he said the plastic face pervert.
Oh, okay. It looks just like my old sales manager down there. Back when I spent a year trying to sell cars, I was no good at it.
I have no idea what Darren's. What were they trying to do there? They took our toy motorcycle helmet and lined it with foil. I don't know what the heck they were doing.
Well, maybe he was Super Dave. Maybe he was being Super Dave
something?
Osborne, or was he around back then?
Super Dave.
You know, Super Dave Osborne, his real name is Einstein, and his brother is the actor Albert Brooks, and Albert Brooks' real name is Albert Einstein.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did know that.
Oh, you know what? I have it in the description. I said, "Oh, one of my first Halloween costumes: a tiger with a little boy body, and my brother, the weird plasticky face pervert man." And I thought maybe he was the first X-Man. Maybe he's an X-Man.
There you go.
Would the X-Men would be that good, Thomas, if they'd use that?
There you go.
Wolverine. Maybe he's Wolverine.
There you go.
Early 70s version.
And Wendy wants to know if you saw a lot of graffiti when you were in Greece.
I don't recall. It seemed pretty clean, except they didn't have trash cans because they burned them all in riots. So you had to put the trash bags were just piled up on the sidewalks. But I don't particularly remember seeing a lot of graffiti. Was it pretty nasty there?
Oh boy, she says the suitcase they screwed up was had her allergy medicine in it.
Oh. You know, in '97, I made my first trip to Detroit and took TWA because my grandpa worked there for 30 years as a mechanic. So I was able to get a Triple E discount ticket. I think it cost $80 back then, which is still not really cheap, but it was cheaper than the alternative. But Triple E means you got to lie standby and crap.
Yeah.
And so I went for this ELO fan weekend near Detroit, and it was a fun weekend, except they lost my luggage, and it had everything my clothes, it had everything. And so I had to borrow the guy who was hosting the party. I had to borrow his underwear and everything because they well, it was clean, Tony, but they took everything. They had they didn't find it. And when I tried to call TWA, the guy acted like he was a real dick on the phone and everything. And boy, they were terrible. And I'm glad they went out of business. And they finally found my luggage when everything was over and it was time to go home. And then then what happened? Like some other airline, it wasn't even TWA, had a problem, and they put all those people on the TWA and knocked me off because I was on standby. And boy, it was just a nightmare. And I was so glad they went out of business. I'm so glad that I didn't. Hate TWA. Molly, if you're watching this, I hate TWA. She said there were trash cans in some stores, but some of the bathrooms didn't have toilet seats. Were you able to flush toilet paper? Because the big thing about Athens and whatever is that you can't flush toilet paper. You got to throw it away.
Yeah.
And
I heard Caitlyn Jenner like TWA. Trans World.
trans what?
Trans World.
You know, I think he's ready to change back.
Yeah.
He's ready.
I think he's like tried it. I think
his junk back.
Yeah,
well, it doesn't work like it doesn't work like it did on South Park.
It's not like turning on a light switch. You know, it's like
it's not like working for Snap-on Tools.
Yeah. Those things are expensive. I've never owned a Snap-on. I've always heard they're like you've got to basically mortgage your house to get a Snap-on.
And Matco tools were expensive too.
What?
Yeah, somebody I knew was selling Matco. Had the big truck and everything.
Yeah, they were very expensive.
I mean, you can sell them, but you already have to be rich before you even.
Yeah, they said not to flush toilet paper. So it was the same. I think one of the funniest things of the trip. It was the first night we were there. I guess Deb had found her way to the place, and our friends. I'd never met him before, but he was in our radio circle, and I knew him online. His name's Keith Fellows, an Englishman with his wife,
and he is a jolly good fellow.
Yeah, he's a jolly good fellow. So we're all there in the flat, and Deb's like, "Oh, by the way, you can't flush toilet paper. You got to put." He's like, "What?" He's like, "The Greeks are the founder of civilization. You got to flush the toilet paper when you take a poo." It's like
suddenly Keith turned into Rob Van Geist.
It was. He sounded. I'm imitating him. He sounded exactly like that. It was like a Monty Python skit. It was so funny when he said that. He's a riot, and you wouldn't know. Just when you look at pictures of Keith Fellows, he's just kind of a balding guy and never smiles. He just looks like a boring guy. But I had so much fun with him. He's a big conspiracy nut. He was like the first person I've ever met that was really into that, and it was interesting. It was an interesting conversation. But yeah, I had so much fun with him. I think the last day we were in Greece, we both took a big swig of that stuff that they drink out there.
Oh, ouzo?
It's like a French cognac, but it's Greek. What is it?
Not ouzo?
Cognac.
No, it's not ouzo. That doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what it was, but boy, it was good.
Sambuca?
What?
Was it Sambuca?
That doesn't ring a bell either. But yeah, it was. We decided to light ourselves up and just walk to the botanical garden, and boy, that was fun. We had so much fun just walking around. You don't have to worry about dying in a traffic accident and stuff. You just go out or getting arrested. You just go out, and we just had so much fun. And there weren't any flowers in the botanical garden because they were like bankrupt. So it was really weird. When you took a subway, it was kind of like the honor system. There was nobody to take your ticket or anything. You just kind of hope you paid something. And there were businessmen and women, people that looked nice, and they were begging at your table at the bistros. It was a really weird experience. But yeah, it was fun. We had so much fun. And there were these people voting, and Keith went nuts. He's like, "There's people voting. There's people." And he had to go inside and watch them vote and talk to them. He was so excited about people voting. It ended up being a student election of some kind, but he was so excited about it. Yeah, it was neat. We had a lot of fun. I think my favorite story from Greece was where the hell's Thomas?
I think his groin got submerged.
I really wanted an authentic Greek sandal. I mean, a pair, actually. And I couldn't find any. And I think it was the last day. We took a back alley instead of the other way back to our flat. And there was a sandal maker store. I'm like, finally. And so they've got these pictures of different types of sandals on the wall. And on the other wall, they've got all these celebrities pictures that went to get, it was like the premier sandal. I mean, Lily Tomlin, all these different people just loved getting their sandals from him. So I'm looking at the wall. I'm like, you know what? I like that one. So I picked that sandal. I'm talking about Thomas, did you hear any of this?
No, what was it?
Okay, so I really wanted sandals that were authentic Greek sandals, and I couldn't find anything. And we were on our way back from the Acropolis, and we went to the wrong alley to get back to our thing. We took a different side alley, and there was a sandal maker. And I went there, and it was so cool. It's an actual sandal maker, and they had pictures of all these celebrities, John Wayne or Lily Tomlin, all these different people, John Travolta, that got their sandals made there. And on the other wall, they had all the different sandals you could get, the different styles. And I just looked at it, and I said, I think I want that one. That's what I want. And I told the guy, so here's this guy. He looked like Tony Gagnos, this big, because Tony Gagnos is Greek. So there's this big guy and his girlfriend were there. And they must have been there for, this was like, it could have been like a skit for a British show or something. They had been there forever. And so I'm like, I got there, you know, I like that. So the guy, he's tailor making it to my foot, doing all the measurements, doing everything. And the next thing I know, they haven't made. And he puts it on my feet, and I'm like, hey, I like these. And she goes, oh, those are nice. Why don't you get those? And he's like, you know, but madame, that was the second pair you tried on. You know, he tried on. So he gave me this, because when I left, I waved at him, and he gave me this mean look. So I guess there was like this jealousy thing going. It was really funny. It would have been a very funny skit. Just the way, that was the second one you tried on 4 hours ago. I thought it was funny. I wish we could get Keith on here. He probably could share some of these experiences. But he's in England, so it's like 2 in the morning now.
Yeah, 2:30 in the morning. Guess they only have one time zone in England.
I know.
I don't have to mess with it.
He lives in Wales now.
Oh, really? Man, I think still.
She said that there were a lot of stray dogs and cats. Yeah, there were. I remember going up the Acropolis. There's like a really pretty stray dog I got a picture of. Stray people, too, it looked like.
Yeah.
And there was one time I was walking down the street. I think it was going back from the Botanical Gardens. All these little girls were wanting to sell flowers, and they were tugging on me. Please, please, could you buy it, $5? And someone told me they were like refugees or this and that. I felt bad. I should have done something. But you know what? Keith and Deb had kind of trained me to ignore all of the panhandlers and because they said if you don't get sucked in, and they were very adamant. They were very almost mean to people. You know, not mean, but they basically tell them to piss off, you know, and kind of felt bad about that. I should have given them $5 for some. What would I have done with give them to Deb? Give roses? No. But hit me over the head with them.
Yeah. Well, if you had pictures, that'd be okay.
Look at those old cars. Those people are driving old cars. They're so stupid.
So that's the 40s.
Everybody's just going 100 miles an hour. Oh, there's the stop go, the Acme semaphore signal.
Well, to be fair, I think the speed's like 1.5 times. So for those of you who missed it, Lucy had an operation last week.
What's he doing? Good?
Wednesday of last week, because that's when my vet does all their surgeries. So she had a couple skin irregularities removed. And poor thing, I thought, it was just taking a skin tab off. But for 2 days, she was just squeaking and whining, all day. I had to go back to the vet and get her some pain meds, and that didn't even do much. She had a rough 2 days. So Captain and Lucy got loose Saturday night. They worked their way out. And I eventually found Captain a different part of the neighborhood, and I managed to kind of corner him, and I got him. But Lucy, she ran off into the woods, and she didn't show up until the next morning. and she'd ripped all her stitches out,
Oh,
probably
wow.
squeezing through the fence, trying to get through all that shit. So I thought, what is it going to be another $600 and another surgery day to get her, um, and they told me just send a picture of it. And I sent a picture of it, and they're like, just keep it clean and this and that, and we'll see how it goes. So that's good. But they really dug a lot out of her. They didn't just cut a skin. They didn't like freeze dry a skin tab off. She has like a dish there. No wonder she was in such pain. It was like a belly button. So, well, if it's, I think they want to make sure if it is cancerous, possibly that they want to get as much out as they can, right?
Yeah.
And they found another one on her that I didn't even know. I thought it was a tick, and they found one on her neck and took it too. Hopefully she'll be okay. I won't know till probably another week.
Yeah.
I hate that kind of.
I remember in Hawaii, my friend and I had a dog, and one day it just got ticks everywhere, and they're getting the ticks off the poor thing. And that's a job.
Yeah, Lucy was covered with ticks in Texas when the Humane Society, the report, she said she had a broken hip and was full of ticks.
Ooh.
And they said she was also abused.
Yeah,
that's probably, maybe that might account for the broken hip,
That's sad.
And she's scared to death of brooms and stuff. And she's still skittish. I've had her for what? How many
she didn't
years
like
now?
your lions. Is that right?
Oh my gosh. When I took her for her operation, the yard was still a swamp. So I had to walk her all across the yard to get to the car. She's never walked that far across the yard, barring running away in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But so I've got her going through the swamp, and we're having to trudge through the puddles, and we had to go past the lions, and she just froze. She was just petrified. She couldn't get past the lions.
Well, first she was afraid.
Well, she was afraid of the sitting lion, but we got past it. But then she was petrified of the laying one, the big one, and she wouldn't go past it. I had to literally push her. I'm like, damn, you're hard to push, you big old. And it turned out she's 103 pounds. She's fat.
Oh man.
They said she's fat. She got to go on a diet again.
Oh Lord. No, a friend of mine who passed away years ago, he had a dachshund. And that thing was so fat, it could sit upright on its butt with all four legs off the ground.
There's people that can do that too.
Well, see, if you ride bicycle a lot, I've been riding bike to work for 4 years now, you develop really epic butt muscles.
I would like to, because but it hurts my knee. I know you said put the seat up high.
Because that's if the saddle's too, because you're not supposed to be able to reach the ground with your feet. You basically put your foot on the pedal. You position the pedal forward, and you stand over the bike, you put your foot on the pedal, and you pedal away as you're up onto the seat.
Well, that'll work for me, because my beach cruiser's got ape hangers. The handlebars are ape hangers. So when I was driving it across the neighborhood, when I used to ride the bike in the neighborhood, I remember kids, look at those handlebars. They'd never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, out here, the Cholos on their Harleys, they've got the ape hangers, and their arms are straight up. It's like, how do you get blood flow? Fucking my arms hurt if I hold them up.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of like when I was in the robot costume waiting for Jeannie to show up. Wendy remembers this. So my feet are so big, they're like Hoover vacuums, and they anchor me to where it just kind of holds me upright. So my arms got tired before my legs did. Just because I can't cross my arms. I can't do anything comfortable. I'm just kind of standing there. Wow. She said in Turkey, we noticed that the stray dogs had tags on their ears, and we were told that they have them spayed and neutered and vaccinated and released back. That's interesting.
Yeah, they do that here. There's a free service that what they'll do is they'll spay and neuter feral cats, stray cats. And they'll just cut the tip of one ear off so you know it's been done. And because cats are very territorial, they put it, they do that, and then they put the cat back where it came from. and it keeps other cats from showing up because they're very
Interesting.
territorial.
That's smart. I feel a little bad about the ear thing, but yeah, that's one thing to control the pet population.
Because if you just
Quit your
kill them,
pets.
it just more cats show up. Nothing. It doesn't do any good. You got to put them back so they defend their territory.
That's called being smart. They also had food and water bowls out front. That's good.
Oh,
Well,
I
at
think
that
about
point, at
biblical
that point, they're just kind of like communal pets.
It reminds me of biblical times that
Yeah.
when you read the Bible. I know Thomas isn't religious and stuff, but
oh, whoa. Yes, I am.
I know, because I always want you to do something, like do drugs or we'll go out drinking, and you're like, "Oh, I got to go to church tonight." I'm like, "It's Thursday." No, but they talk about dogs a lot in the Bible. Mostly, it's not good, but
Yeah.
you know what? It's like they're almost like they're people in the Bible. It's like it's the lowest class of person almost when
Yeah.
they talk about dogs. But I wonder about how the dogs were in biblical time, because people still had pet dogs.
Do you know they actually talk about narcissism in the Bible? They refer to it as two-faced.
Ah.
Toothpaste.
Mm.
No, Now you're gonna get me to say it. Not toothpaste. Two-face. Like the villain in Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
Two-face.
Oh, that was Batman, wasn't it?
Oh, him
It
too.
was Harvey Dent. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I know shit like that.
That's interesting. Well, yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Yes.
Well, just a lot of what was it, Harold the King?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was him. Yeah, Harold.
Yeah, he seemed like that. Oh, the fish ring. I love those little ceramic rings. They're so neat.
Well, this one's gold, but it's got enameling on it.
She said they also tourists feed them too. That's when you get problems when the tourists feed them, because then they're like feeding them things that are bad for them, like fish and vegetables.
Yeah, vegetables, all of that shit. Now you're not supposed to give them peanut butter because it has xylitol in it.
Xylophones.
Yeah. And so when they bite into them, it goes.
What is it? Why can't you feed them? What's the matter with? Because even the vet says if you give them a big pill, put it in peanut butter or cheese.
Yeah, peanut butter, as long as it doesn't have it's spelled with an X. It's like xylophone, but it's xylitol, and
Yeah,
it's a sugar
rings a bell now.
substitute, but it also acts like a laxative.
Oh, I've got to read, because I've got the Jeef. I get the Jeef peanut butter.
Jif peanut butter. GIF peanut butter.
Jif peanut butter, and I've got the no sugar added. But no, it doesn't have that stuff in it. I remember reading the ingredients, and it's just basically peanuts, vegetable oils, and salt. It's
Yeah.
and,
As
you know,
long as
you
it
don't-
doesn't
it's
have that
fine.
xylitol crap in it, it should be okay.
Yeah. You don't need all that sugar in peanut butter. It's good enough with, you know what I mean? Some things you can't have Kool-Aid. You know, when Deb was staying at my house when I was out of town, she tried to make one of my lime Kool-Aids. I'm like, "Oh, you made a lime Kool-Aid, Fisher," and she's like, "Yeah, it wasn't very." She didn't add sugar to it.
Oh, they still
you
make
realize you
that?
got to add like a cup of sugar to this. She didn't realize that.
Yeah. Oh, you get the Kool-Aid that's in like a little packet, like a packet of seeds, and then you got to use your own sugar.
Oh yeah, I remember when I was in Telluride, we stayed at this hotel. We were the first guests to stay at a hotel that just opened up in Telluride.
Ah.
And I was about 4, I guess. And I remember my grandma and my mom, they had this big thing of Kool-Aid. It was a big packet. I'd never seen one like that, but it had the sugar in it,
Ah.
like an instant Kool-Aid.
Right.
I'd never seen something like that. I was like, whoa, what is that? It's a big Kool-Aid.
Yeah, because it's where you got the sugar. So
It's funny what you remember from
Oh yeah.
And that little cooler, we had an igloo, no, Coleman cooler, a metal cooler.
A colon cooler? You had to do that after your
Coleman.
surgery?
Colon.
Coleman. And
Hello, Dr.
I've still got the cooler.
You don't like it when we do it to you.
You saw it in the trunk of the Mustang. Commented on it, Thomas. Thomas.
Yeah.
I got Thomas a water, and he got to see the old igloo cooler. That's the cooler that we used to take in all our little Colorado trips.
One of the steel ones?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Literally.
Yeah, and it's got the chrome
Nice.
little latch that you got to turn around. It's got like a circular thing that locks it. Yeah, it matches the Mustang pretty good. It's like perfect because it's probably the same vintage.
Yeah.
Oh, not those again.
Yeah, I scared the crap out of Putt with this video.
Sure scared. That's in one of our precious moments. Putt was having a baby watching those. He was like going nuts. He was so scared of him. Dang porcupines.
Whew.
Are those Those are puppies.
Yeah.
That's why they can't.
Yeah, they kind of grow into that fur, basically.
But it looks like they don't know how to walk yet.
See, that's putting a hat on a hat, have it rocking the film like that.
Yeah, you don't really need to.
Yeah, because they're bred for like up in Alaska, so they got like.
Are they water dogs?
No, they're like snow dogs. They're built for the extreme cold.
Because poodles are water dogs.
Yeah, that's why they shave all the fur off the legs so they can like retrieve like ducks and crap in the rivers and ponds.
Thomas, there's your dogs.
Yep, watermelon dogs.
Melon dogs.
See, Thomas has a black dog named Skipper, and I've got a black one named Captain. And I want them to play together so bad, just so we can have Captain and Skipper together.
So do you play them that Zepp song?
Black dog. Well, they called it that because there was a black dog at their studio that was like this kind of out of
Okay,
nowhere.
I wondered about that because Winston Churchill used to suffer from depression when he wasn't drunk off his ass, and he called his depression the black dog. He would say, "Oh, the black dog is here," meaning he was suffering from depression.
And there's another reference, a black dog, and it was a movie called Black Dog with, I think it was, who was the one? Not Kurt Russell. Who was the one that floofied? Handsome guy, the ghost.
Oh yeah,
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah,
I think it was Patrick Swayze and Meatloaf. Meatloaf was the bad guy, and the movie was called Black Dog. And the guys were driving it looked like an '86 Z28 Camaro, blue, exactly like the one I had. And it was a trucker movie, kind of a. It was
I remember that movie.
It was an action thriller with trucks. And it was called Black Dog, and that was the kind of the thing is when you get really tired, the truckers at night, they would see this black dog. Now, they made it real scary, like this dog's like jumping up at them with the big teeth, and it looked freaky when it showed it. But I think what it is with the black dog, from what I read, it's not like that where it attacks you. It's just you see it in the road and like, want to swerve. And it's not, it's your eyes playing a trick on you, like you see this black dog crossing the road.
When
I was driving, you what?
Oh, when he was saying that she saw one of the monasteries that was in a James Bond movie.
Oh yeah, she sent me a picture of that. It was really beautiful. It was the one from. Remember they did the rock climb on For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I wonder if that's. Did you see the cliff where Bond kicked the car?
Yeah.
No, she hadn't seen the movie yet. So no, what was I going to say? We talked about the black. Oh, yeah. One of the dumbest things I've ever done was I drove from Alabama all the way to Colorado without sleeping. And
you had a banjo on your knee the whole damn time.
Singing, "Oh, Susanna."
Gracie had me hopped up on Adderall. And I started hallucinating. And when I was going through Oklahoma, you know how there would be these little rolling hills, not big hills, but little ones. Maybe they carved the highway out of the hills, and the sun was just going up. And whenever there would be shade from one of the hills, it looked like there were thousands and thousands or millions of locusts in the road. And I'm like, am I running over a bunch of locusts and bugs? This is so weird. Because I don't remember driving through Oklahoma before. And I was hallucinating. We were in a parking lot and I saw the door of Gracie's car close. Like it was open and closed, but it wasn't. It was already closed. And so I told Don, my cousin Don, later about the story I told you. He's like, did you see the electric bugs? You know, I'm like, that was it. So yeah, I guess they weren't real bugs. They were just eyes playing, hallucinating.
Because in Utah, they have crickets. So they call them locusts, but they're actually crickets. And they'll cross the road and boy, and just this massive, and then they just get run over. There's this goo all over the road that just doesn't wash away.
Well, my mom used to call cicadas locusts because, you know, you get the cicada sound at night.
Yeah.
I said, what are those, Mom? And, you know, she's like, those are locusts, but they weren't. They were cicadas. Basically, locusts are big, giant grasshoppers.
Yeah.
I thought it was cicada. Oh, that's John Cicada.
Yeah, no.
Same thing, but different.
John Cicada.
Wasn't he that guy that fell off? Did he fall out of a tree?
I don't know.
Because that's what cicadas. Sorry, gee whiz, what are you doing? He likes that kind of music. Thomas likes progressive. Oh, Thomas, write this down.
Yep.
I've got a new album out. It's called Hideaway.
Yep.
It's a double album. I'm really excited about it. So there's a song on it called, what's it called? Called Summertime. So there's an interlude in the middle. I don't know when it happens. Maybe a minute and a half in. I don't know. But listen to the song. The interlude in the middle is my Yes tribute.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's kind of my it's my Yes tribute in the middle. And it's a very old song. It's like one of the first things I did for the album when there wasn't even really an album yet. It was just trying to do songs. So I was really big in the Yes still in that kind of progressive scene. So yeah, if you listen to Summertime, I think, let me know what you think. Well, no, don't let me know, because if you hate it, then I'll be like, well, fine. But yeah, do listen to it. And I think you will hear the Yes influence in the middle. Like the middle of a Hershey bar with the nougat.
Nougat. Yeah, no one knows what nougat is.
I think the people who make nougat don't even know what nougat is.
Yeah, no,
except Ted Nougat.
Yeah. It was like, Nestle's Toll House.
What?
Go ahead,
Thomas.
When you cross the bridge.
Uh-oh, he's frozen.
No, I got something. Nothing.
Oh, okay. But,
you were saying something and you stopped. About nougat.
Well, that was me. No, they have Nestle's Toll House morsels. And, you're not supposed to ask morsels of what? They're morsels. Okay. But what are they made of? Morsels.
I don't think they know what they're made of. I think they just sweep them off the floor.
Gotta be.
Probably rat droppings and stuff. Well, I didn't eat it. I'm not a fan of Nestle, and you shouldn't be either, being in Florida, the way they take people's water rights and stuff. I don't buy anything Nestle anymore.
I used to love Nestle's Strawberry Quick. Back when it came in the tin.
With the bunny rabbit with the big feet.
Yeah, but it came in the metal thing where you had to pry it off with the spoon and the shit would go everywhere.
That was neat. Those were the neat days.
Yeah.
Big Judy, they had taken things out of the house after the fire, and she had 2 cracker boxes, like saltines, that were the metal tins.
Nice.
I guess in the old days, you'd buy a saltine crackers, and they were in tins with a removable lid instead of this. Isn't that neat? I told her to hang on.
You'd save them because You could use them for something, and then when you have like 8,000 of them in the garage, it's like maybe we can't use these for anything.
Well, you know what I found, and Tony wouldn't worry about it because they have all the water in the world. But when we got these hurricanes and the water shuts off, I've been starting to buy all of my orange juice from the plastic things instead of the cardboard cartons.
Ah,
You know the orange juice that come in the big plastic ones,
right.
because they're great to reuse and just fill with water and store. And they're great for road trips. You just got these big, because they hold a lot, You can't, they're not really big enough to pee in.
Ah,
'Cause, did I tell you I sleptwalked once and I woke up and I was peeing in my spray bottle that I use for the insect repellent, my homemade insect repellent, with the lemon eucalyptus and stuff.
yeah.
And I was peeing
That worked really well as an insect repellent.
Oh,
I don't know. It's ammonia pretty much. I just felt dumb. I'm like, what am I doing? I normally don't sleepwalk like that.
I never have.
The only other time I think I might have sleptwalked is when I was first on DeviantArt. There was some guy drew some kind of superhero going across like a building, and I thought it was neat looking. And I said, "This is a cool picture. I like it." And he's like, "Well, thank you." And I just happened, a few days later, I looked at that picture again and I saw my reply and I said something, called him Captain Obvious, and said something that didn't make any sense. I said, "Gracie, look at this." And she's like, "Look at this. I called this guy Captain Obvious and said this really rude thing that makes absolutely no sense."
Ah.
And we couldn't make it. And she says, "I think maybe you might have been sleepwalking." So it's like when I go sleepwalking and troll somebody's. It was so weird. I couldn't figure it out because I'm not the kind of person to sleep. I don't do that.
Yeah.
Evidently, I did. She said there was also Pizza Hut and ketchup flavored chips. You didn't try most of the stands in convenience stores in Greece and had KFC potato chips. The KFC potato chips sound like they're kind of cool, but I don't know about the ketchup flavored chips. Don't they get kind of soggy and vinegary?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I love ketchup on French fries, and it's kind of the same category.
Slathered in ketchup?
Oh my gosh, have you gone to Tasties?
Yeah.
They were my favorite place ever. The best burger, and I went. Did I tell you this Saturday? I went to Tasties for lunch.
Yeah.
And the burger looked like a McDonald's burger. And the fries looked like something like the O'Grady or O'Reilly that you get out in the frozen food section. It was like, the hell am I eating? And burger and fries, no drink. Burger and fries, it was like $12.50. And they still wanted the tip thing on. I said, "No, you got your tip." And I didn't tell them that, but I didn't get that. That was I don't know if I'll ever go back there because they were the best burger and fries ever. Even my cousins, when they came, he said it was like the best burger he ever had, the guy from Missouri. And they were good. It was a tradition to go. That's where I went to Josh every Father's Day we would go there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the most mediocre. I could have gone to Whataburger and got something twice as good as that. I don't get it. $12.50. They could kiss my foot.
Wow.
That's how I feel about it.
Getting pretty feisty there, Tim.
I know, right? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Those of you who heard that, I didn't mean to go that far over the line.
All right. I'm going to sign off because I'm ready.
You got 2 more minutes.
You're going to make me stay on 2 more minutes?
Yeah, it ain't 10 o'clock yet.
And be thankful for it.
Thank you, Thomas, for showing up. We needed you.
Roger.
We had Steve Jarrett here for a while, but his bandwidth wasn't cooperating.
All right. You guys
That's a cute plane. Isn't that cute? What is that?
F-102.
Oh, he's got a minute left. Look at that.
F-104.
I'd like to be one of those.
Yeah. He's got almost no wing. So like just little bitty.
I had a Matchbox of one of those.
Oh,
I had a
yeah.
whole set of Matchbox planes, fighter planes. And I remember when I was in the first grade, a kid borrowed one just for a little bit, and he came back and he apologized. He said, "I'm so sorry, I broke it. The canopy had broke off."
Mm.
And I'm like, "It's all right." See, I was good natured even as a little brat. I was good natured.
Mm.
It might be like barbecue chips. Well, if that's the case, then I would just get barbecue chips. I like barbecue chips. I want barbecue chips right now.
Yeah,
Tony,
yeah.
can you give me some barbecue? No, you can't. You're clear on the other end of I-10.
Yep.
I guess I'll just have to buy some and have them on hand in case Wendy mentions barbecue chips late at night
There you
once,
go.
and I'll have them.
Well, you can always go drive over to the store.
I've had a couple spirits, so I don't know.
Well, see, you get a self-driving car, and it'll just drive to the store.
Well, that would be pretty cool. No, I don't need them that bad.
Or you could,
I've got
you could
tortillas.
call.
I've got tortillas and hummus.
No,
Yep.
you could call Uber Eats and have them delivered. Then you'd have to
Yeah,
tip
pay
that guy.
$50 for a bag of chips. I've never ever done that. I've never ever had the Walmart people deliver anything. I mean, Deb, she was disabled and couldn't drive, so it made sense for her to have Walmart deliver. But what on earth is that? That's a weird looking plane. That's almost like a Saber, but it's not because it's got the things on the wings.
Yeah.
There's a wheel of some type.
Yeah.
It's got a string attached. It's like, you guys done yet?
And for some reason, the plane needs extra wheels to take off.
I guess. But not to land? Ooh, look at that. It's taken off.
See?
Well, how does it drop it? Oh, it had some kind of strap.
Yeah. As
I
soon as
don't
it came
know.
off the ground, the wheel came off and a little parachute came out.
Oh, so it just has like a little groove it's set in. and
Yeah.
when the gravity will just take care of the rest. Oh, that's pretty cool. Well, why does it, that looks like it's pretty futile still. Why do they need that? Because that's the only plane that's ever done that. Well, take care, Wendy.
All right,
Have a
we'll
good
see you,
night.
Wendy.
Yeah, we're about to sign off.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wendy, and thanks, Laura, and thanks, Fidesco. Thanks, Thomas, and thanks, Steve.
Hey.
And no thanks to any of you others.
Yeah. Well, maybe next week. You never know.
They better. I'm gonna have to dress up and do all that stuff.
Oh, where's my? Oh,
Huh?
there we go.
Oh, dang it, Tony. I would spend an hour getting into that makeup and costume next week, and Tony just puts on a hat.
Yeah. I figure the
Hello.
top hat goes with the hair for some reason.
Yeah, looks good. It does look good.
I never liked long hair with a fedora, but I think it works with a top hat because guys did have long hair back in the 1890s.
Yeah, they knew how to do it back then. And that's what my grandma was saying. People have had short hair for it. She used to complain about it. I'm like, no, people only really had short hair from like basically the 50s.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Hannibal wanted his soldiers to cut their hair short because he noticed people in hand-to-hand combat grabbing the enemy's hair and pulling his head down. Said, aha,
as
you
a
better cut your
practical
hair
matter.
off. Had a job and a haircut.
That's probably why a lot of people use loincloths, even in the caveman days, because they don't want their cod getting caught in a briar bush.
There you go.
Or
Or like tough guys. Like there was this guy who worked for Henry Ford back in the 30s who was like a union buster, and he was a kind of a badass guy. He always wore a bow tie because you couldn't not wear a tie, but at least the bow tie, if he got in a fight, somebody else couldn't grab it.
Is that how they got their start?
No.
Oh.
But he just liked the fact that somebody couldn't like grab a regular time and do all that crap. That's not good at all.
No, it's called a tail dragger is what that's called. So anyway, I guess we'll call it a night.
Yeah.
Maybe see you tomorrow, Tony. If Steve's gonna
Remind me, remind him, remind everybody. And
everybody! Oh, it's too late. I was gonna plug my show tomorrow. If you're watching this, go to my Facebook. Well, it's the most recent post. I've got my show that's going to be on tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be like a mini fun hour, and we're going to be live in chat at the site. It's going to be fun. It's my friend Conrad in Ireland. Real nice guy.
Yeah, remind me in the chat too, because you know how.
I will. Well, all right, feller. I will talk with you tomorrow.
All right. Let's
see you, people. Thanks for showing up. Have a good night.